I think we good. I think we set. I think we solid. Let's get this thing started right. Yeah. Yeah. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. We're on every Thursday, every Sunday, every Thursday, every Sunday, 10:30. You already know how we do. Nothing but love for y'all tapping in. As always, nothing but love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all, again, this is episode 186, Sunday night edition. I seen the chat is already in here already early and active. You know what I'm saying? Activated. So again, chat, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in each and every Thursday, every Sunday. Also, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So continue to support the show by hitting that like button, then hitting that share button, subscribe, and again, over 450 rewatches of this video on this channel. So make sure you continue to tune in and tapping in. Also have membership portions in the page. The links is in the bio and within the page. Different memberships do get granted different access. So again, tap into those memberships as well. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps. Again, that's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com, where you get the finest of movies, original shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. So again, tune into Button Snaps. Again, for those who've been supporting my new EP that's out right now, which is called Winner's Loyalty. Again, called Winner's Loyalty on all music platforms. Just type in Ashley Lovechild. 6 songs of fire. Type in again to my new EP for those who haven't heard or seen it yet. Again, Winner's Loyalties up on all music platforms. Again, just type in Ashley Lovechild for all them true hip hop fans. So again, I want to thank y'all. I want to tap into my chat real quick. Love to the chat. Chat in here deep and early. Pause. But shout out to y'all for tuning and tapping in. As always, showing that good energy, showing that good love on this great Sunday. Quick shout out, quick shout outs. Quick shout out to Ebony in the building. We got badge holders in the building, y'all. Stop playing with it. We got badge holders in the building. We got day ones in the building. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to Tremont in the building. Your Sunday fun day. Yes, indeed. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Make sure y'all tap into that new Hazel album, Cover Girl, on all music platforms as well. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Also, Culture in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. King P started off with the gifted. Thank you for the gifted, bro. Always appreciate it. Always love. Salute, bro. I appreciate that as always. Contributing and showing love to the chat and to the gifted as well. Appreciate you, King P. Also, Ebony, I shout out Ebony. So, and Winter, shout out to Winter in the building. Appreciate you, Winter. Again, tapping in. We got badge holders in the building, y'all. So it's not a game. So appreciate y'all for tapping in. All right, y'all. With no further ado, let's get this thing started, y'all. First segment of the night: popular opinions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. You see it right there. Yes. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. Alright? Alright, y'all. First segment of the night, popular opinions. And remember, y'all, these are not our questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. My bad, y'all. I got some people. Okay. Yeah, so again, stick to the answers in the question. Appreciate y'all as always. My bad, y'all. Hold on. I always get these. Yes, I'm on. Yes, 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 yes. People know that I'm on and be asking stupid questions, knowing that I'm on. So I hate that, but you know how I go, y'all. All right, y'all. First question of the night. Popular opinions. Again, these are not our questions. These are the world's questions. All right. Pick one. Pick one. Pick one, y'all. Pick one in the chat. Number one, a $200,000 luxury car. Number two, a 200,000 for clothing. Number three, 1 year rent free in Hawaii. Number four, no taxes for the full year. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, pick one. A $200,000 luxury car. Number two, 200,000 for clothing. Number three, 1 year rent free in Hawaii. Number four, no taxes for the full year. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to Michael in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man, as always. Hit them likes, hit them 100s as you're here. Shout out to Johnny in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. None of those are useful. I hear you, but again, this is the question. Shout out to Miss Eve in the building. Appreciate you, Miss Eve. Shout out to Tom in the building. Appreciate you, Tom. Patrick Torres, one of our badge holders. Appreciate you, Tom. Patrick, for tapping in. Give me the car. I could flip it. I'm seeing a lot of cars in the chat. Like I said, is what you rather do. I mean, the most logical answer for me, if I had to pick one, it's probably going to be the car, because I believe Patrick already said it. You know, you could flip a car. You won't get 200,000 for it because, you know, once you take it off the lot, it depreciates. But you can flip that. You could take an exotic car not anywhere, but you could take an exotic car to an exotic dealer and they will play ball, and you could walk out with 6 figures. So I mean, that is useful. You know, so if somebody said, you know, none of these are useful, but that is useful. Bumba shout out to Aaron in the building. Appreciate you. Yeah, we tapping in for sure. Appreciate that, Johnny. So again, I'm with y'all in the chat. The chat has mostly went with the $200,000 car. Instead of $200,000 for clothes are useless. I mean, no taxes for a full year. That is amazing. 1 year free in rent in Hawaii. That's cool, but me personally, I don't want to live in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the most expensive places you can live. And even though you're saving up on rent, which will probably be on average maybe like $40,000 a year, which is great to save, but you're still paying a lot of money in food. So again, I'm gonna go with the $200,000 luxury car, because I could flip that and, you know, add on, and then I could take that, go get, you know what I'm saying? I do my thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with the $200,000 car. In the chat, y'all going with the $200,000 car. The rest of the world at 47% went with 1 year rent free in Hawaii. So 47%. And mind y'all, over 462,000 people voted on this. That's a lot of people. So again, 47% went with 1 year rent free in Hawaii. Hey Ash, did you check out that movie Warrior? I did. I'm actually going to talk about Warrior today. I'm actually going to talk about that today. That's a fact. What's your opinion on Israel? You can't flip a $200,000 car, dog. Cars always lose value. If you were listening, I said that. I said cars do lose value, and you won't get 200,000 for 200,000. I did say that. Yes, I did. But you still can get 6 figures, sir. I trust me, I know. I've been addicted to. Okay, shout out to you. You know, keep fighting that fight. And if you're here to troll, shame on you. And God bless you. Hit them likes, hit them 100s while you're here. Okay. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. On this list, which NBA team would you rather play for the most? On this list, which NBA franchise would you want to play for the most? Number 1, Miami Heat. Number 2, the Boston Celtics. Number 3, the Lakers, Los Angeles Lakers. Number 4, the New York Knicks. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, the question is on this list, which NBA franchise would you want to play for the most? Number 1, Miami Heat. Number 2, Boston Celtics. Number 3, the Lakers. Number 4, the New York Knicks. So let me know what y'all think in the chat. I'm seeing Heat all day. Heat all day. Going through this, again, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. So y'all know where I'm going with this, right? I'm going with the Heat. No shade, no shade, no shade. Y'all know I love my New Yorkers. I love New York. I love my Brooklynites. I'm from Brooklyn. But if you asking me which franchise I'd rather play for, it's without a doubt the Miami Heat. The weather, the Miami Heat is a culture in Miami, and their franchise is synonymous with excellence, hard work, dedication. It's the Miami Heat way. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? It's a culture up here, you know? So me personally, I'd rather play for the Miami Heat. Now the New York Knicks, if you're from New York City, most kids' dreams, if you was born in the 80s, maybe early 90s, especially 70s and 60s, if you grew up playing basketball, most kids' dream would be to play for the Knicks. Again, I'm from Brooklyn. So if Brooklyn was on this list, I would have said Brooklyn, right? But New York Knicks, no shade, but they've been terrible for a long time, like a long time. Just recently, they started, they made that move and made that turn and started turning up. But even if they was like a winning franchise, I don't think I would still pick the Knicks. It's just one of them things. I just rather play somewhere hot, you know what I'm saying, all the fly shit going on, having a good time. I'd rather play play for the Miami Heat franchise. In the chat, I'm seeing the Heat. I'm seeing Boston. I seen some Boston in there. The Bears. No, we gotta pick from this list. I know y'all choosing y'all choosing football and baseball, and I gotta be from this list. Because the weather, but the Knicks is my team. No taxes in Miami. That's what I'm saying. Like, ain't no taxes, no state taxes. No state taxes. Opinion. Shout out to Eric in the building. Appreciate you tapping and hit them likes, hit the 100s. Shout out to Iffy in the building. Shout out to Jobel in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. All right. So in the chat, I'm seeing mixed answers. Again, I went with the Miami Heat in the chat. Again, it was mixed, but I mainly seen Miami in the chat. The rest of the world at 48% went with the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not mad at that answer because, again, the Los Angeles Lakers pride themselves on winning. It's a winning franchise. Even if guys are not homegrown to their team, they going to take guys who they feel represent that Laker brand, and they're going to go for chips. So I respect the Laker brand because they do go for chips no matter what era we in. I don't think I've ever seen the Lakers like terrible. Like, I've seen everybody terrible except for the Lakers. I've seen the Lakers not have good years. I've never seen the Lakers be terrible. I've seen Boston be terrible. I've seen New York Knicks be atrocious. I've seen Miami Heat be terrible. But I've never seen the Lakers terrible. Never. I never have. So that goes a long way. Like, and every team has been like really bad, probably except for the Lakers that I've seen. So shout out to H. Buster in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. Who gives? Okay, shout out to Eric. Have a good night, Eric. Appreciate you tapping in. Have a good night, sir. All right, y'all. Again, and then mind you, over 30,000 people voted on that. Over 30,000. Back in the day, Bears was top team. That's a fact. Back in the 80s In the 90s, the Bears was solid. The Bears was a solid team. That's a fact. See, most franchises, they have their time. They have their time where they are really good, and when they don't make the right drafts and stuff like that, do their real due diligence, people get hurt. They're bad for a long time. That's what I'm saying. Coaching and having the right scouts, all that matters. It's in all sports, football and basketball. But again, I'm in the minority when I say this. None of these sports organizations is about talent. Talent eventually makes its way to the league, but it's not driven on talent. It's driven on storyline. That's why when you watch a draft, you be like, yo, how did this guy go before this guy? And there's a reason why in the background why that happened. It had nothing to do with the sport. I seen that in basketball and I seen that in football. And because these owners, their mentality is like a dude's mentality, meaning like, all right, well, if you turn me down, I'll just talk to the next girl, right? Women turn 21 every year, right? Every day, matter of fact, right? Turn 21 every day. So, hey, I'm always going to be able to play ball, baby. That's how these owners think. There's always going to be a new star next year. So they don't care about winning. That's why some of these teams have been trashed for like the last 40 years. D Wade has the best statue of himself. Yo, that statue is terrible at D Wade, but he likes it for some reason. He likes it, so hey, it is what it is. But he doesn't have the worst statue though. Me personally, even though it's not meant to be a mainstay statue, but they need to give him a mainstay statue. It's Allen Iverson. When they presented the statue, they made it seem like it was supposed to be this mainstay big statue, but they do small statues for like the great players in like their practice facility. But Allen Iverson needs a damn statue with the 76ers though. D Wade wears number 3 because of Allen Iverson. D Wade. Well, I remember watching them from UK. Okay, shout out to UK. Was good. Shout out to Drew in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Same with boxing. That is a fact. Bless up. Looking sharp. Appreciate you. M in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. I think that's Malika. Appreciate you tapping in. H Buster. Cool. Yes. Sports is very political. It's very political. And you're like, how, bro? How? I just told you. Every year, there's a new star, there's a new toy every single year. And they don't care. They're like, all right, we don't have to pay you. You got problems, you got issues. All right, cut them. We get the next guy next year. And hopefully we're good. Simple and plain. I mean, look at my team, the Chiefs. All through my life, all through my childhood, we wasn't a good team. We had good players, but we wasn't a good team. We had guys like Joe Montana, Marcus Allen, Christian Okoye. I mean, the list goes on. Dante Hall, Priest Holmes. We had some dudes walk through our locker room. But the team itself, we had a couple years when we touched the playoffs. Tony Gonzalez had an era, but we never had like this. You see what I'm saying? So teams have its ebbs and flows. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know Hollywood Need to Ask Us. I came up with this segment because there's a lot of trash ass movies in Hollywood, with the exception of July. Since July has came and passed, I had to throw that in there every single time because July has been killing it in the movie theaters, as well as obviously August. Well, all the great movies is out now. And from January to June, it was a desert at the movie theaters. It was ass. It was trash. It was nothing to go see. With the exception of July, they just haven't been giving us great movies. Movies that have no type of connection, no type of lineage, no type of intrigue, no creativity. So I feel like I got better movies, ideas for a movie or movie series. Yeah, you came in disrespectful. Yeah. Check yourself. You came in disrespectful. What's wrong with that fool? Shout out to Broncos country. Get ready for Bo for mayor. Nah, bro. Shout out to Sid. I love the competitive talk. You know what I'm saying? I love that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Chargers. Shout out to the Raiders. Shout out to the Broncos. You know what I'm saying? What was about 8, 9 in a row now? Yeah, we not worried about no Broncos, man. Now I will say this. I will say this. Broncos, y'all have a solid team. Y'all have a solid team. Y'all are way much improved than y'all was in years past. Bo Nix is solid, good quarterback. Y'all got a better team. Y'all might make the playoffs. Y'all might make the playoffs as a 7th or a 6th seed. Y'all might. Y'all might. So shout out to y'all. But y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know. Feel me? Shout out to Zay in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, Brody. Shout out to John Tate in the building. Raiders all day. Bro, y'all should have drafted Shador, bro. Like, I don't know what y'all was thinking. I know y'all got Geno, but y'all still should have drafted Shador. You know what I'm saying? Just have Geno there, plug and play like Shador. You know what I'm saying? It would have been crazy. Bears doing the Bills dirty 40 to zip right now. I mean, that's solid for the bid, but this is preseason. That wouldn't happen in the regular game, in a real game. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. It's preseason. Paul's in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, Paul. We got some day ones in the building. Ali in the building. You said you might make the playoffs. Like you said, we might make the playoffs. Yeah, the Broncos might make the playoffs. The Raiders, shout out to you, bro. But y'all not making the playoffs, bro. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not making the playoffs, bro. Like, come on. I think our division is probably the dark horse in all of the West because we possibly got 3 teams that can make the playoffs. I don't think the NFC North. I think only 2 teams are going to make the playoffs. It's going to be Baltimore, maybe Cincinnati, maybe the Browns, or maybe the Steelers. Because the Steelers' defense is crazy, but I don't trust Aaron Rodgers. And on top of that, he don't got a whole lot of weapons. Cleveland probably has the 2nd best defense in that division. Cincinnati defense is non-existent. Cleveland is actually solid. They gotta make the right decision at quarterback. Cincinnati, they're gonna be an offensive juggernaut, but they can't stop anybody. So, but Chargers, Broncos, you know, but y'all know who running the division though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. You know what I'm saying? Even I know the Raiders are done and does but you still gotta show love though. I respect that. I respect that. Casper is going to be a football team. I missed that last comment. I got to go all the way back up. I missed that last comment. My bad, y'all. Shout out to Monica in the building. Go Browns. Go Dog Pack. Whoa, Monica. I love the team spirit with Cleveland, but let's keep it honest. You not there because you like Cleveland. It's 12. Like, come on. Come on. We cheering 12 on. You know what I'm saying? We cheering 12 on. They got some good players on the team, but we cheering 12 on. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, though. Shout out Eagles. Eagles. Okay. Shout out Rocco. We owe y'all another ass whooping. We beat y'all. Y'all beat us. Now it's time to return the favor. Y'all don't feel the same this year for some reason, but the Eagles are still scary though. But y'all don't feel the same. Pause. Come on, BD. Come on. Don't stop with the wit. This is not the place for that, bro. Come here to support and show love, bro. Don't come here with that, bro. That's weird. I don't even feel like blocking people tonight, but I will, bro. Come on. That's weird. Oh, what state you live in? I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm from Brooklyn. That's not where I live though. That's where I'm from. I'm from Cleveland, so I gotta represent. Okay, well, shout out to Monica. You from Cleveland? There's a lot of beautiful women in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So that's not. You know what I'm saying? So I already know. But shout out to Monica. Shout out to you. What about Dolphins? Yeah, they. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. They not going nowhere, bro. They not going nowhere. If they do, I'll be very surprised. Shout out to Phoenix in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. No Diddy, comfortable. Howard Beach, Brooklyn. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely from Brooklyn. All day Flatbush. When does he said, when does the baby oil start? You see the baby oil in the background, right? The Diddy. I call baby oil Diddy oil from here on out. I just do. P Diddy done made P Diddy done made baby oil so famous. I just call it Diddy oil now. Have a woman over. Yo, you see the Diddy oil over there, baby? She start laughing. You know what I'm saying? And we had some fun. You know what I'm saying? I call it Diddy oil now. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. It's Queens in Brooklyn. Okay, love it. Shout out to London, love in the building. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. So again, next segment, Hollywood Need to Ask Us. Again, here's my movie idea for a movie that I would like to see in movie theaters. All right. So I would like to see a movie or a biopic based on a very famous, well-known R&B artist back in the day. I mean, way back in the day. And I think it's so prevalent because he inspired a lot of the greats to the greats. Like people like Stevie Wonder, like people in that type of time. And I would love to see a movie about Jesse Belvin. If you haven't heard his name before, look up his name, look up his music. His vocals was just on a whole nother level. Crisp, concise. His range is ridiculous. So Jesse Belvin, he passed away in his late 20s. And how he passed away, him and his wife, he also had a driver. He was very successful as an artist during his time. And they said that, he died in a car accident, but it could have been foul play in, within the area that he not lived in, but the area that he was performing in, which was Arkansas. And Arkansas back in the day, at that time, that was Klan time. So I would love to see a movie based on, the life, the upbringing, the gift, the talent on and off the stage, his family life. He left back 2 kids. And for him to be so great and to be gone so early, we was robbed of his greatness. And I don't think most people even heard about this man. So I would love to see a movie again about Jesse Belvin. Again, I would cast Michael Rainey Jr., Taraji P. Henson, Vang Rhames, Anthony Anderson, Paige Hurd, and Dennis Green. I think that would be a fire movie to put together for an artist of his magnitude. And again, most people have never heard of him. We've heard of the Frank Sinatras. We heard of the Ray Charles and all these great Stevie Wonders, all these greats, right? But we never heard of Jesse Belvin. So I would love to see a movie based on his life story. And I know it was so much accomplishment. When I looked at his accomplishments, mind you, he passed away at 27. And all his accomplishments before 27 was like, whoa. So again, I would love to see a movie based on his lifestyle or life, his life. The chat, while I was just watching a video on him early on YouTube, says voice coach Elvis Presley. Yes, I have never heard of him until today. Yes, Arkansas is Duke. Tom Jones. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Or the people y'all are naming, all great artists, all already known. You see what I'm saying? We know of their story. We don't know of his story. Most people have never even heard of this man. And again, he died with his driver and his wife. He was only 27. His wife was 25. And he left back 2 children. And he was already performing and touring and all those things around that time. And I'm telling you, if you hear his songs, y'all, and mind you, his songs was like back in the day, way back in the day. Them songs still hit vocally. It's just on another level. And mind you, I don't know how many people out there have ever been in the studio before, but it's nothing like what we got today, where people could go into the studio and have a damn auto tune on the mic and all that other stuff. Nah. This is going into the booth straight vocal style. You know what I'm saying? One take killers. One take killers, no mistakes. Vocals on a whole nother level. So again, I would love to see a movie based on his life, on and off the stage, his family life. I just think it's a story that we need and we just robbed of. So again, I would love to see a movie again based on Jesse Belvins. All right, y'all. Moving on to, and then I would have direct Alan Arkush. I'm sorry, Alan Arkush. I will have direct this. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. Some of y'all most favorite segment of the show. For those who this, if it's not your first time watching this segment, I let y'all know all the fire movies to see. I'm gonna give y'all 3 fire movies to see. I'm pretty sure y'all haven't seen, I'll say 2 out of 3 of these for most of y'all. I pride myself on naming movies y'all never seen or even heard of. So make sure y'all tap into these movies, all right? All right, my number 1 must-see movie. I actually seen it for the first time today. It's a fire movie. Surprisingly, to be honest with you, because looking at it, I was like, right? Came out in 2011, directed by Gavin O'Connor. This movie stars Tom Hardy, Joel Egerton, Nick Nolte, Jennifer Morrison, and Frank Grillo. Y'all probably know Frank Grillo most for playing Punisher. Y'all know who Nick Nolte is. Nick Nolte is a legend. He played in the 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. Joel Egerton, Tom Hardy. Y'all know who Tom Hardy is. I believe Joel Egerton was probably, I would say he was in the Departed movie, but fire movie though, fire. This movie is called Warrior. Fire movie about 2 brothers who are in the fight game, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. This is not a spoiler, but make sure you tap in to see Warrior. It was actually a really great watch. I will watch it again. It was a really great story, and it's a must watch. So make sure y'all tap into Warrior. Again, this one came out in 2011. There's a few movies titled Warrior. This one came out in 2011. Shout out to Patrick in the building. Glad you like Warrior. It's a very underrated movie. Played in Siege Part 2, Nick Nolte. Yeah, yes. But yeah, it felt underrated. It felt underrated. The action in itself was fire. All I will say to y'all, this is all I'm gonna say to y'all. When the fight scenes come up, yeah, don't go get your popcorn. Don't, because you could blink and something done happen. So again, make sure y'all have y'all snacks ready when y'all watch this movie, especially for the fight scenes. All right, y'all. Moving on. My next must-see movie came out also in 1990. Well, came out in 1991, directed by Kevin Hooks and Ronaldo Hudson. This movie stars Tommy Davidson, Halle Berry, Samuel L. Jackson, Anne Marie Johnson, Joseph C. Phillips, and David Marshall Grant. This movie is called Strictly Business. Fire must-see movie about a man making his way through corporate advertising. He has a friend that loves to party, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. Again, like I said, this is not a spoiler. I won't ruin it for you, but make sure you tap into the movie again. Strictly Business. Third and final must-see movie came out in 1997, directed by Bill Duke. This movie stars Lawrence Fishburne, Cecily Tyson, Tim Roth, Andy Garcia, Vanessa Williams, Clarence Williams III, Loretta Devine, Queen Latifah, and Shah McBride. That's an all-star cast right there. This movie is called Hoodlum. I could watch this. I watched this movie over 100 times. This is a fire must-see movie. This movie is about the life and the uprise of Bumpy Johnson. Y'all probably seen the series with Forrest Whitaker, Godfather in Harlem. You've seen Bumpy Johnson's character kind of die off in American Gangster. This movie Hoodlum was about his uprise when he came out of jail, and it is a fire must-see movie, y'all. So make sure again y'all tap into my 3 must-see movies. Number 1, Warrior. Number 2, Strictly Business, and number 3, Hoodlum. Make sure you tap in to see those movies, fire movies. Let me know on a later episode and we'll talk about it. You ain't hood for real. Uh, okay. It's a fire movie. Check out these fire movies, all right? Bill Duke is a legend. That is a fact. Bill Duke is a whole legend out here. That is a fact. Love his work. Shout out to Monica. That is a fact. Don't forget that them likes, hit them 100, y'all. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. You think you tough hood? Yeah, you a weirdo. You being weird. What up, Shout out to Dwayne in the building. Shine my shoes. Yeah, I don't know if that's a line from the movie, but if that is, you need to say so because it comes off like you're being disrespectful. And I got ways of dealing with disrespectful people. Shout out to Solo Slim. Just tapping in was good. Again, always good, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate you being here. Again, one of our badge holders, one of our day ones, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Okay, he was looking for all that attention. He must not have something tangible going on. So, have a good night. Bro, why you letting him say that? Bro, sometimes you gotta let the trolls cook a little bit. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. He's a weirdo. Got rid of him. You see what I'm saying? That's how we do it. Shout out to Respect in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-hear segment. As much as I give y'all some fire movies to watch, I'm going to give y'all somebody and put these 3 songs on y'all playlist. My profile artist for tonight, again, put these 3 songs on your playlist. I'll be surprised when some people have never heard of artists or never heard of these songs from these artists. So make sure you put these 3 songs on your playlist by this artist. Tonight, my profile artist is Jadakiss for all my hip-hop fans, because y'all know whether it's new or old, whether it's R&B or hip-hop, I'm going to give y'all some fire music. Again, my profile artist is Jadakiss. Make sure you put these 3 songs by Jadakiss on your playlist. Number 1, We Gon' Make It. Number 2, Knock Yourself Out. Number 3, By Your Side. Make sure you put those 3 songs on your playlist. I'm going to say it again, by Jadakiss. Number 1, We Gon' Make It. Number 2, Knock Yourself Out. Number 3, By Your Side. Make sure you put those 3 songs on your playlist. Again, shout out to OB in the building. Shout out to Funk in the building. David Ruffin, don't go home. Shout out to Dwayne in the building. Trolling is a gentleman's sport. Shout out to Rowan Jack in the building. Rowan Jack, one of our day ones, one of our other badge holders. The badge holders is in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, brother. All right, y'all, moving on. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all a must-read book. This book for this episode is called You Are Your Best Thing. You Are Your Best Thing. Vulnerability, shame, resiliency, and the Black experience. So make sure y'all tap into that book. It's by Tarana Burke and Brain Brown. So make sure y'all tap into that book. It's a great fire book, just dealing with self-worth. So make sure, again, y'all tap into that book. It's called You Are Your Best Thing. Again, vulnerability, shame, resiliency, and the Black experience. Again, it's by Tarana Burke and Brain Brown. Make sure y'all tap in. Those three tracks are classics. That's you talking about for Jadakiss. Yes, man. And you'd be surprised who have heard certain songs and it just baffled me. So make sure y'all tap into those songs. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know. Send them to Turkey. Send them to Turkey. Send them to Turkey, for those if it's your first time watching, it's a segment mainly because Turkey has some of the most stringent laws that we've ever seen. It became an inside joke because, anytime somebody do something out of pocket, we'll say send them to Turkey. So make sure y'all tap in T to send them to Turkey or type in N not to send them to Turkey. Shout out to Super Dude. That was kind of mid, but I could appreciate the joke. I could appreciate that was better than what I normally get. Pause. I could appreciate that was kind of mid, but you know what I'm saying, I almost chuckled a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to you, because that wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't like super personal, you know what I'm saying? Like you really tried it, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, man. I appreciate that. So listen, Patrick Torres, nothing but love. I feel that, you know what I'm saying? I felt you tried on that, you know what I'm saying? And I could appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, man. And that was kind of clever, you know what I mean? Shout out to you on that. All right, y'all, remember, type in T, type in N, type in T, type in send them to turkey or nah. First one. I don't know if y'all seen this movie, but I must speak on it. War of the Worlds received a 3% on Rotten Tomato. Are we sending Rotten Tomato to Turkey for giving War of the Worlds 3% on Rotten Tomato? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. For those who've seen War of the Worlds, I seen War of the Worlds, and them giving War of the Worlds 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna send them to Turkey, cause War of the Worlds Ice Cube version deserve. I don't like 3% is kind of generous, to be honest with you. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. Zero would have been more efficient in my opinion, y'all. Y'all said send them to Turkey. I'm just gonna disagree. I'm gonna disagree. I thought War of the Worlds was terrible. I thought it was terrible in every sense of the way. All the actors was terrible. You need a whole new cast for this. It wasn't just Ice Cube. Ice Cube portion was the most notable because it's Ice Cube. He's the star of the movie, but everybody was terrible. The daughter was all right. The daughter was all right. I'll say the daughter was all right. She was mid. The son wasn't a good performance. Obviously, Ice Cube was terrible. The reporter was terrible. The generals, they was all right. You know what I mean? But the mainstay of the movie, it was a hard watch. It actually, you ever watch something that gets comically like bad? Like it's comically bad. Like I watched the reviews just to laugh. I watched the movie now just to laugh. Like it was comically bad. I find funny in how bad the acting was. It was terrible. It was terrible. So me personally, I'm not gonna say Rotten Tomatoes to Turkey for giving them 3%. It should have been 1%. Or it should have been 0, to be honest with you. It was a terrible movie, and it felt like a long ass commercial by Amazon. Because Amazon was advertising every single product, service that they got available in the movie. And they actually showed you what to do. Like it was a one scene in the movie where Ice Cube had to buy something from Amazon in the midst of the worlds warring together, and then they actually type in, like he actually showed step to step to buy whatever from Amazon. Like it was terrible movie, terrible movie. So again, I'm not going to send Rotten Tomatoes to Turkey, but y'all did. So you know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with that. It's just a difference of opinion, but 3% is kind of high for that movie, to be honest with you. 0, 1%, or it would have been more accurate. Aliens ate all data except for Amazon. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? You feel it? Obi, you feel it? So they eating all the data except for Amazon. So everything else is gone, but Amazon is, yo, we here, we still got, like, come on, man. Yo, shout out to Obi, man. Monica, is called product placement. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. They was product placing like a mug. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at the hustle. You see what I'm saying? But there was a much slicker way to do that. You feel me? That's all. Let me see what else is in the chat. I missed some of y'all chats. Oh no, not that one. Once you see it again. I mean, I seen it about 3 times. Just so, like, it's so bad. Like the one scene where Ice Cube realized like something got blown up and he hit you with the, oh my God. Like it had no enthusiasm, no nothing. Everything sounded like he was reading it and it was like a placeholder and they was gonna come back and do it. You see what I'm saying? And they was like, nah, we just gonna put that out, baby. We gonna get that money on. And it was like, yo, it's just a terrible product. But y'all saying some fire stuff in the chat, which I do agree with. But it's just like it's a terrible movie. Terrible movie. Don't double back with that cast. Or I wouldn't even say the cast, because I've seen everybody, well, the mainstay in the cast. I've seen Ice Cube act 1,000 times better than that. I've seen, I believe it's Longoria. I can't think of her first name, but I've seen her act better than that. So it's just production. It was just bad. You could see the green screen. Like, it was just bad. It was just a bad movie. So I'm not going to say Rotten Tomatoes to Turkey, but y'all did. All right, moving on to our next one. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. Pop singer Tyler dropped a new album and is considered a flop. Album failures are blamed on the cultured community. What I mean by the cultured community is the so-called blacks. I don't refer to myself as black. I don't refer anybody that I know who is melanated black, because we're not 3/5 of a person and we're not 3/5 of a people. So I don't consider myself that. I consider myself a cultured man, and that's when I say cultured community. That's what I mean, and substitute for that word. So are we sending the notion to Turkey that Tyler album flop because of the cultured community? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Type in T, type in N, type in T, type in N. Shout out to Digital in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hold on, you was being disrespectful? Who you being disrespectful to? Yeah, no, yeah, bro, you got the wrong one. You got the wrong one. Yeah, I'm gonna put you in the corner. You talking to? You better come in with some respect. Shout out to Big in the building, Big Rep in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Reality, appreciate you tapping in. Blacks for the win, fam. Hey, I hear you. I hear you. I just can't call myself that something that other people gave us. They gave us colored. They gave us blacks. Like, what else we're gonna be next? You know what I'm saying? And we tapped into the truth. As long as we call ourselves black, we're not gonna tap into our true power in the money. But that's a whole nother story. Hey there, shout out to Mrs. RD in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Greetings, enough respect. Always shout out, bro. Appreciate the respect. Mind you, hit that likes, hit them 100s, hit them likes, hit them 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. I'm seeing what I saw in the chat. I saw a lot of T's. They sending that to Turkey. Can't blame the culture. Tyler sound is a bit tired now. I will say this. There's no way you could blame the culture for this at all. When she came to the States, she had her thing on the Breakfast Club, her interview, and she just wouldn't answer certain questions that made her relatable. So the culture community in the USA, we don't play that. It's either you down with the bras or you not. And when you ain't down with the bras, then you ain't gonna get the love. We can still enjoy your music, but you're not gonna get the overpour and the over love of just cause. You see what I'm saying? But it's kind of hypocritical because they say, bruh, we don't buy albums, we don't stream, and this, that, and the third. So if we don't stream and we don't buy albums already, so how can it be our fault? Her lack of being relatable is not on us. That's a personality thing. The music in itself is cool. It's cool. No, and there's no diss to her. It's cool. But I don't know, maybe it's her look. Maybe that she thought people would be so intoxicated with her look that, you know, her music was just like, and she's a nice looking woman, but, and I don't mean this in no disrespect, but I haven't met a woman fine enough that's like voidable of all type of criticism. Meaning like you're so fine, no matter what you say, I'm just gonna support it anyway. Nah. You gotta have you have to have a good personality on your shoulders for people to support whatever you got going on, especially if you depend on people to buy merchandise, to buy tickets, buy albums, and so on and so forth. So anytime you in that space, in the entertainment space, you have to bring some type of good energy. This is no longer the days where back in the 60s and 70s, people could kind of get away with being like a recluse and reclusive and just giving that, that real diva attitude. Nah, this era generation, it ain't about that type of energy. You have great energy, whether you for this or for that. People is gonna mess with you, regardless. And as long as you're honest on top of that, if she was to come out and say, "This is how I view myself, and this is what I view where I'm at," people would have still messed with her. It's just the fact that she was trying to be reclusive and not really being genuine with with the ideologies, that they were just simply asking her a question. So can't blame that on the culture. Can't. And the songs is cool, but you gotta bring a good head on your shoulder. You know what I mean? Shout out to Rowan Jack. Shout out to Rowan Jack again, showing that love in the chat. Appreciate you as always. Ash, you have assimilate with the AI. What you mean? What you mean? I gotta assimilate with the AI? Nah, this is the original Ash, bro. Reality in the building. Viva. I believe friends for the win. I believe that's in Spanish. Yeah. Shout out to Easy Money Sniper. You came in hot. You came in hot. Don't appreciate the disrespect, player. That's the wrong podcast for that. You come in here respectful, playboy. For real, I don't play that at all. That disrespectful talk. Shout out to Noah in the building. Trump 24/7. Shout out to On the Noon. On my mama, I did. How'd you fall off? Shout out to Redham. Fall off? Nah. That sounds crazy. I like your chain, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Yeah, don't be a stain. Don't try to come in here and try to stick out for trying to be negative. You can't be negative, especially with somebody like me. You can't. It's not going to work, because my reality trumps all things. So if you're trying to stand out by being a stain, I could fix that on here. And in real life, it's already fixed. So God bless you on that. You need to change that around and get you a Coke and a smile. Ashley, girl name. Ashley is a girl name, right? No, it's a man's name. Yeah. Heavy big man, pause. It's just that, like all names at the time, women take it. Hey, it is what it is. But I'm a man, dude. Don't get it mistaken. You have to shout out to Roman Jack. You have to have a badge if you want to talk shit. Exactly, bro. Like, and you ain't gonna get nowhere with me on that one. You know what I'm saying? Who's your favorite rappers? I'll answer that real quick. Stains get washed. That is oh, you killing the chat tonight, bro. You killing the chat tonight. For real. Shout out to Gabe. Appreciate you tapping in. Gabe, you already know. Who's your favorite rappers? Well, I said it on a past podcast. I could name my five off the top of my head real quick. Jay-Z, Jadakiss, Biggie. Jay-Z, Kiss, Biggie. J. Cole. I had DMX at 6. And my last one probably Nas. Too many suspect lines from Biggie. See, that's the thing about time, bro. Like, yo, the same words we use today is not going to age well. But point granted, he had a couple of lines that did not age well. I said that on the last episode. That is a fact. But you can't take away from the greatness of Biggie. Yeah. All right, y'all. He says Scarface. Scarface is fire. Scarface is fire. Scarface is fire. Get back. Peace out. Gina. All right. Appreciate you tapping in. Ashley built like a baby daddy. Pistol whips every morning. Yeah, bro. See, here's my thing, right? When y'all crack jokes, I love great jokes. I'm from Brooklyn. Like I'm telling you, bro. If you had a picture, I'll be roasting you. Like, and it will be shotgun. You know what I'm saying? it can't be trash or mid. Like, it's just terrible. That's not the place for that with whack ass jokes, bro. You're not gonna get nowhere with me with that one. Say something that's gonna make me chuckle, bro. Pause. That was garbage. Okay, fair enough for the Biggie tip. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Shout out to Jesus Freak in the building. Appreciate that. South Bronx, what? I got love for South Bronx. What you talking about? What? You talking about? I got love for South Bronx. What you talking about? Call. Yo, Vic. Appreciate you, Vic, for tapping in. Appreciate that for tapping in. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. First segment of the night. Ashley got a song dropping called Me Call When Niggas Kiss. I don't like that one. Bro, I'm kind of giving you too much attention with these whack ass jokes, bro. I'm like, if you even had something funny, I would repeat it so everybody else at home would laugh. Like, I'm that type of dude. You feel what I'm saying? Like, bro, stop. Stop. It's not even mid, bro. Stop. Nah, you mad? I feel you, bro. I'm real mad. Shout out to Ben in the building. Appreciate you tapping and hit them likes, hit the 100s. Oh, you came in being weird already. Oh, yeah, nah. Yeah, you came in being weird. Shout out to Daniel in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Are you a blood or a crip? I'm a man. Feel me? I'm a man. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. Cardi B, new album. Cardi B, new song drop and music video. Imaginary Players, which is actually a remake of Jay-Z, which actually is the original song by Renee and Angela. Renee and Angela is the originals of Imaginary Players. Theirs was Imaginary Lovers or Imaginary. It was Imaginary something, but Renee and Angela was the originals of that song. Jay-Z remade it, turned it into a rap, and now Cardi B dropped that version of Jay-Z. Let me know what y'all think of the song in the chat. Me personally, I thought the video and the song was both fire. I thought they was both fire. I think she had a point to prove. I think it would have felt better, pause, if there was an album that would have rolled out with this. But this is a very good start for whatever music she's moving and dropping and doing. But I thought the song was actually very fire. She was spitting, and you could hear them bars. So I thought the song was fire. Not pissed. Yeah, he did his own. I thought there was one. Yeah, see, Jay-Z version was actually dissing Mace. That's when Jay-Z did his version. He was actually dissing Mace, but do it on a whole album, right? But the original to that one is by Angela Renee, the legendary Renee and Angela, the group Renee and Angela. But yes, like I said, me personally, I thought the song was fire. The video was fire. I felt like it had a point to prove. It made that point. I thought it would have been better if there was an album that would have rolled out from that particular song. So shout out to Cardi B doing her thing in the music space. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Bengals. Bengals are listening to trade offers by one of their top players, Ty Hendrickson. What do y'all think about that? Let me know in the chat. Great player. Again, like I said earlier, with the Cincinnati Bengals, they just haven't took care of business when it comes to their defensive side. They got 2 number 1 receivers. Obviously, they got Joe Burrow. So they taking care of that offense, but that defense, they're going to get into major shootouts during the year, and they got to play against Baltimore. Cleveland has a solid defense. They have enough offense, running backs, receiver talent to actually put up points against Cincinnati. But that defense, they got to deal with Myles Garrett. They got to deal with Mason Graham. Like, that's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their defense is nothing to play with. If Aaron Rodgers is a shell of himself, they're going to give Cincinnati some trouble. Not to mention what I already said about Baltimore. So, again, Cincinnati, they need to handle business. I mean, they can't come to an agreement with Hendrickson, but it's unfortunate. Whoever they get for him in the trade won't be him. So they're going to take a setback. So me personally, I think this is all bad for the Bengals. The only way they can make this great is if they could get a first-round pick for him. And even then, that's not hitting until next year. So this is all the way bad in my opinion. What about Flacco coming back? Flacco, the way how I look at that Cleveland situation, I look at Flacco as a backup. He's 40 years old. He's a Super Bowl champion. He knows football. He knows how to sling the football. He had a good season the year prior to with Cleveland, but I wouldn't make him my starter. I'm throwing Shador out there. I think Shador has looked the best out of all the quarterbacks. And mainly because there's an upside if Shador does well. And what that means is if he does well this year, the upside is they have something to build up for next year. So throw his ass in the fire. Throw him in the fire. Let him rock out. I don't think Dylan Gabriel is. I don't think he's it. When I seen the draft, I said, "Oh, Cleveland Browns drafted their franchise quarterback and their backup career quarterback." And I look at Dylan Gabriel as a backup quarterback. No disrespect, just all football related. I used to love Pittsburgh, the Bungles. I love that. That's why I love that. He started to show the rookie the ropes. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that with Mace. On the moon, you got to do better or I'm going to put you in timeout, bro. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Batuka, Timbiaka Batuka. What you know about Timbiaka Batuka? That man was deadly. That man was deadly from Michigan. But yes. So I think the Bengals is messing up, not working out a situation with Hendrickson, and their defense is going to suffer for it. They even have a rookie that came in the second round that didn't even want to show up and sign his damn contract. Like, they got real problems on their defensive side of the ball. So I think they're going to have a real dogfight in that conference. And it's not just Baltimore. It's going to be Cleveland and the Steelers that they're going to have to deal with as well. It's not cut and dry for Cincinnati, in my opinion. So that's what's going on. All right, y'all. Carolina. Yeah, he was drafted to Carolina. Drafted to Carolina. That's a fact. That's what's up, Vic. Yo, shout out to Vic for that. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people know about Timbiaka Batuka. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A judge dismisses 22 counts in the former bad boy artist Sarah Stokes, now known as Sarah Rivers, lawsuit that was worth $60 million. Her suit was within work-related situations, civil situations, and an SA situation, all tied into one, which racked up to $60 million in the full lawsuit. And the judge dropped and dismissed all charges with prejudice. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. But me personally, looking at the situation, she never came off to be credible anyway. I'm just going to be honest. Like I told y'all know how I feel about honesty and how it looks. We can't be afraid to speak on things. And she never felt credible because here we know her from Making the Band, I believe Making the Band 2, and good artist. She was a part of the band. That's what the group was called, the band. And she never gave that type of energy. But things, whatever happens in front of the camera ain't always what it's seen behind the camera. Granted, right? Cool. Now, if these things were to happen, it's very hard to prove these things a decade later. Damn near 2 decades later. What am I talking about? We in 2025. Making the Band 2 came out, what, 2002, 2003, 2004. We in 2025. So that's a hard thing to prove 21 years later. So at the end of the day, it didn't feel credible. The other people that was in the band can't even corroborate her experiences that she had with Diddy. And even if she was holding that back from them, there had to be someone that you would tell that to. Mind you, she was married at the time. So you would think that a woman that is married, that have a whole bunch of children with this man, because if you're submitting to this man by having children, you're going to submit information that your husband is going to want to know to protect you. So you didn't put yourself in the right frame of mind to be protected and to have some sort of representation, so that way this doesn't continue to affect you. Not to mention that the amount of people that it could have possibly affected if this is actually real, if this is actually true. So she missed a real opportunity to fight for justice if it was about justice. But honestly, because of the situation that he's currently in, I feel like she tried to take advantage of the situation, even if a little bit is true or if a lot of it is true. What you can prove and what the truth is two different things. That's a lesson I learned at 18 years old. I told my lawyer I didn't do it. The judge said, my lawyer said to me, paid lawyer at that, is a difference between the truth and what you can prove. So for her, it just never felt credible at all in this instance. So, unfortunately for her, I hope she continues to move on and get the help that she needs mentally and speak to someone if she's still dealing with this trauma, because it feels like she is when she speaks. So I hope that she does get that help. But based on the case in itself, mind you, they drop all and dismiss all charges without prejudice. That means this will never be brought up again. So, again, I hope she finds another way to, benefit her career and her situation. And I don't say that haphazardly. So, shout out to Vic. Can a brother get a rap? Always looking good. What are you looking for? No, bro. Come on, man. This is not the place for that, bro. I'm not on that type of time, brother. Like, what about, like, come on, bro. Like, don't be weird, bro. Don't be weird. All charges dismissed with no prejudice. That means it was BS. Vic, is that a Jim Brown jersey? Nah, this jersey straight from what's that place called? I can't think of the name. Damn. When I think of the name, I'm gonna tell you. Seriously, I'm not being funny when I say that. I can't think. S&M, S&M. Yeah. See this joint for S&M. You know what I'm saying? We out here. I think that's what it's called. The judge basically said, "Go home and don't come back." Monica, you funny. That was funny. That was funny. Basically, that's what he said, though. Basically, that's what he said. Because again, there's a difference between the truth and what you can prove. And if, like, I'm gonna just keep it real, like, and I'm not victim blaming or anything like that. But yo, you can't let something that happened in 2024 and then 2025 roll around. You trying to get justice. If you're trying to save this to just put this on the record on somebody's character, I get that, right? Because trauma doesn't have a time period, but the law do. So we gotta be sensible when we do these things on the law side of the game. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. The WNBA, the players of the WNBA have declined a 400% increase in salary. So this would have took the base salary from 66,000 on average to 250,000. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the WNBA, the players have the decline of 400% increase in salary. Excuse me, which their base fee was 66,000 to 250,000. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Excuse me. I'm accustomed to paranormal with all Diddy has done, and she couldn't get nothing to stick. She may be lying then. Again, she could be telling the truth. She could be telling the truth, but again, there's a time limit when you trying to do things on the lower side of the game, and that's just the way it is. The only thing that doesn't have a time limit is murder. Everything else has a time limit. Has a duty. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Has a duty paid for the missiles. And I know what you mean by the missiles, bro. Pause. I know what you mean by the missiles. Yeah. But yeah. So they declined that. Their biggest thing, for what I've heard the lady speak about, was the revenue sharing, right? They want more on the revenue sharing. They want their revenue sharing to look similar to what the guys get in the NBA. They saying they don't want the same, but they want it to be similar. In my opinion, I don't think they deserve the revenue sharing, mainly because it's a failing business. And if you have a failing business and it still haven't turned the profit, but if you can make a profit on something else, which is the revenue sharing, because I kept the business up to float, because I fronted the bill for all these years, when we get this extra boost, I don't want to hear nothing about this money, because I'm the reason why we even have a league financially. You are the talent, but I could find people to play the game. So me personally, I don't think they deserve the revenue sharing. Now, do they deserve a pay increase? I think they deserve to get what the sport generates. Every other sport gets what the sport generates. The reason why you see NFL, NBA guys get the money that they get is because the sport generates it. Simple and plain. What are we talking about? You can't get something just because you do something. Like, imagine if we really lived in a world like that, y'all. Imagine that. Imagine a thing that you do so well and you're skilled at it and you get paid top dollar just because somebody else does the same thing that you do, basically, but they can't do it the way you do it, how you do it, the flair that you do it. People actually buy into what you do. And you think they should get the same amount as you? No, you're going to feel a type of way about that. So me personally, if their sport fails to pack out the arenas, fails to have merchandise, if they continue to have a business that operates at $44 million loss every year, then you don't deserve a pay increase. Now, if the business was generating that type of funds and that type of revenue, then of course, then that makes sense that everybody make this money on. I'm all about making the money on. But again, if you have a failing business, I can't think of not one company that fails in business. They're like, yeah, I know we're $44 million in debt right now, but I'm going to increase your base salary from 66,000 to 250,000. But you're going to turn that down, though. That makes no sense. That makes none at all. So being that they turn this down lets me know that this league could really be coming to an end, because this is going to come to a serious lockout. Most of these young ladies cannot miss out on $66,000, let alone 250. Let's keep this all the way real. I don't feel bad when most of these women say, "Oh, $70,000, $80,000 is not a lot of money." You lost your mind? How many people in this country make $80,000? Not a lot. Not a lot. Only maybe 22% make about over $100,000. They said right now, if you have $10,000 in your bank account, you have more money than 90% of the population. And let's keep it real. All these players don't play in New York. They don't all play in LA. They play in places like Atlanta. They play in places like Indiana. These type of places are friendly when it comes to cost of living. Some of these places are Texas. It's friendly in the cost of living. So that means you could get a very nice place for $2,000 a month. You could get a very nice car for $1,000 a month. That's $3,000 right there. What more do you really want? But if you want more, you have to do more. Simple and plain. I've never heard of a business failing and people are turning down a pay increase. And the business been failing. So this is not great strategy by the WNBA players, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that they're going to find themselves losing out big. They're going to lose out big from this. And they're going to regret them missing out on this money, in my opinion. I really do believe that. I really do believe that. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Again, gift in the chat. Harvey Weinstein was a great American hit. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I know you saying that to be funny. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Always showing love and supporting the show. Yeah, Down syndrome, you're a weirdo. I wonder if your girl think I look like Brittany Griner. But shout out to you though, weirdo. Trash ass joke. Martin. Okay, you another weirdo. Monica, I don't know the people actually watch. I don't know people that actually watch the WNBA. That's a valid point. That's a valid point. And again, here's what they have to really understand. All major sports in this country, soccer, college football, NFL, NBA, they all take, I don't want to say advice, but what we feel as the viewer, they include in what we want to see, right? Football does it, basketball does it, all these sports do it. The WNBA just refused to do it. They're really having a serious problem as far as marketing their sport. The people who watch the WNBA the most is men. You have more women than men in this country. So obviously you're marketing the game all wrong. And the guys who watch the WNBA watch it because they just like watching basketball. But again, when I watch the guys play, at some point I know somebody going to get dunked on. I know it's going to be a fly alley coming out of nowhere. I know a crossover is going to be so gut-wrenching where a dude touch earth and the player's going to step back, hit the three-point shot. He's going to do something so athletically, that's so athletically gifted that I've never seen before. The WNBA has to find their strong points in their game. And they have to learn how to market their game to the people that they want to grow with the sport. So for them turning down this money is not a great strategy in my opinion at all. At all. Rowan Jack, you funny. What about PWHL? Shout out to Batman in the building. I watch the WNBA for betting reasons. I'm not gonna watch it because it's all women. Why would I do that? I feel you. When I go to the basketball games, right? And I live in Florida now. I moved to Florida. When I go to the NBA games, because I live near an actual arena. When I go to these games, there's a whole lot of women there. Whole lot of women. Place is packed with women. Again, the WNBA has to find out who they're marketing their game to. And they should take this money. They should take this money. It's just not strategic and it's not benefiting their league, especially if they're gonna go to a lockout. Shout out to Patrick. I'm making money off the WNBA. I feel you. I feel you. I mean, honestly, the WNBA games is not hard to call and to catch, as far as like in the betting world, whether it's money line or whether by points, it's not a hard one to call. So it's a to me it's a safe bet. It's a good bet. They may be L's that are fans. I like. Okay, shout out to Gordon in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Stars reportedly lost $42 million and over 410,000 U.S. subscribers in the last 3 months, partly for the main show, BMF Season 4 underperforming. And yeah, so this is what they claiming from that. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, I think Stars been on a downslide. The way Stars run their network and channel is terrible. It's been terrible. Like that's be all the way funky. In the last 10 to 15 years, people only watch Stars because of Power. And what makes it worse, y'all don't give Power enough episodes on the original. 8 episodes, 10 episodes. Nah, we don't want to see that. We want 15. We want 20 episodes per season. And then on top of it, y'all are very skittish on how y'all drop these damn episodes. We can't expect a new season every September. We can't say, yo, September coming around. Yo, Power back on, baby. Let's get ready for another 20 episodes. They never did it that way. And then they never took care of their mainstays like Amari Hardrick as Ghost. So they been had a problem. And then when you watch and you sit there and you watch episode by episode, they got these funky and weird little ways. When they don't want to show an episode, they don't want to show an episode. They're like, yeah, we see y'all next week. And we're just going to call this the mid-finale. I know we only 6 episodes in, but this is the mid-finale. Nah, have that thing ready each and every week. The people want to see it. And on top of it, what made it so fire at one point, you had 4 different shows that you could peel off from. That they actually did their own shows based on that, the spinoffs. And the spinoff, one spinoff could have came off every January, then the other spinoff right after that, and it would be all year round. And that would have kept the people engaged. That would have kept the people like, damn, yo, Stars care about their viewership, because obviously you don't. Y'all show when y'all want to show it. We want to see, and we know it's done. We already know Raising Kanan is done. We know that the next season of Raising Kanan is done with Breeze and all. But I bet you we won't see it until 2026. We're not going to see it no time this year. And mind you, when 2026 come around, what they going to drop? About 8 episodes, 9 episodes? Like, what are we doing? So I don't feel bad for Stars because they mismanage their channel. They mismanaged their network, and they've been doing it for a long time. When you got a cheat code like Power, and as great as Power was, and then those spinoffs have so much intrigue with Force, with Tommy, with Tyreek, with Ghost 2, with you Raising Kanan, and so on and so forth, it kept the people in tune. And now with BMF, now it didn't help that BMF had the situation with Big Meech and 50 Cent. That didn't help at all. Because basically 50 Cent is basically saying, I'm out. I'm not in on the show no more. And I remember at one point in time that 50 Cent was all in on BMF. That's why people bought into the story of Big Meech and of it being on Power. They couldn't wait to show BMF. They saying, no, BMF going to be different from Power, and it's going to be something more gritty. It's going to be more entertaining. Then when we get it, it's cool. But again, y'all doing the same thing with BMF that y'all doing with Power. And then the storyline don't make no damn sense. It doesn't. And mind you, because we think it's a true story, we think we're watching something that's true step by step. But when you watch and hear these people talk, like none of these people are saying that none of these stories are true. So at the end of the day, they have missed the mark completely on the viewership and who their target audience is. So I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that they even still around, to be honest with you. Because again, they mismanage their shows on how they show them, how many episodes they drop, and it's just it's poor. It's poor. It's poor. It's a poor product. It's a poor product. It's terribly written, by the way. Everything is so damn like you can see it coming from a mile. It's just a poor product. It's terrible. It's terrible. So whatever they need to do to fix it, or just let it go. Let Power or let BMF go to a whole nother network. But I know they're not gonna do that. So fix it or stop complaining. Seriously, stars, because again, the people that y'all targeting to, not putting up with it no more. Not putting up with it no more. They got to hold on to a damn Stars app all year just to get 8 episodes. Get out of here. They not going for that no more. So shout out to the people that's not tuned into Stars anymore. All right, shout out to Mikey in the building. Hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them likes, hit them 100s. The Spartacus series was fire. Yeah, it was a dope series. I bangs with the Spartacus series. I bangs with it. It was a good series. Stars had a few good series here and there, but in the last 15 years, like that's be for real. Power has been the mainstay, and but even Spartacus, they mismanage all their shows, all of them. So at the end of the day, again, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for them at all. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Hold on, okay. Moving on to our next hot topic. Southwest Airlines pilot failed sobriety test just before takeoff on body cam went viral. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Monica. Okay, I see Marcus Houston. Yeah, I always get Marcus Houston is my cousin. I get that. I get that. But those guys was trying to troll. They you know what I'm saying? But I know you ain't trolling. You just showing love. So shout out to Monica. But yes, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, Southwest Airlines pilot failed sobriety test right before takeoff, and it was shown on body cam. Fly him to Turkey. That's a fact, Rowan Jack. Fly that man to Turkey. Send him to Turkey. My response to this is thank God. Thank God. Thank God for the person who sent the smoke signal up to the office or put the call into the manager, the text, and be like, yo, the pilot that's about to take off, he's sauce right now. You need to get somebody down here. Shout out to that person because they came with the body cam, and again, they did the sobriety test and he failed. So at the end of the day, can you imagine being up in the air with your life on the line and this fool at the control center? Can you imagine? Like, I don't know if y'all remember this, but at the beginning of the year, I would say up until about April, it seemed like every single day we heard about plane crashes. Do y'all remember that? Up until about from June to about April, every day it was a new plane crash over here, over here, over here. And now this man, whoever had the courage enough to do this, God bless you. You saved a lot of people. That man was playing with other people's lives. And the crazy thing is, I don't think this is the first time he did this or tried to pull it. So can you imagine what bro thought this was? So I'm so happy somebody called it out, called upstairs, called to the control center, said, get somebody down here to test Buddy because we're about to go up in this air. And we put in hundreds of lives at stake. And that's just on the plane. Not to mention if you crash into another plane or fall on some people, who knows? So at the end of the day, my goodness, thank God somebody called that out. Let AI replace our pilots. Monica, to play devil's advocate, don't they have autopilot function? You don't want to be flying from New York to Miami on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? Certain things need a pilot's touch. Uh, Shout out to Just Saying, appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you tapping in. Bayou Beast, shut up, but for real, Ash, the first time I heard you smoke the type of beef, I'll never let you live it. Rowan Jack, you stupid. Keglos, he got left in the, okay. That was terrible. I appreciate the whack joke. That was terrible. He could never, but terrible joke. But I get it, but it's terrible. Man, said crisscross style. Shout out to Luke in the building. Appreciate you. Okay, shout out to A in the building. 65. What crisscross give up. Oh, shout out to J2000 for another whack ass joke. That was terrible. That was terrible. And it's crazy. People that crack the most jokes on here, right? Y'all be behind y'all keys. Y'all have no real pictures up. Y'all have a picture of just something, right? And if people seen you in your everyday life, you know what I'm saying? Because hurt people, right? And you try to inflict pain that you feel every day in your reality. But the thing is, the reason why the joke don't land, because I live in my reality. So I love the good try at the joke, but it's not going to land, sir. So at the end of the day, God bless you. Because at the end of the day, your moms wouldn't turn me down. Your sister wouldn't turn me down. Your girl wouldn't turn me down. Your little sister, if she's over 21, she wouldn't turn me down. So God bless you, my guy. Appreciate you. Shout out to Luke. Real shit. Just saying. Just saying. But love to you. Love to you. When you give me hate, I'm going to give you love. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Because also on top of that, you wouldn't say this in real life. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to Lorenzo in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Again, J2000. Being weird. I touched the nerve. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Like, there's no concern on my face. It's weird when you respond to something with control, with no type of malice, with no type of negative energy. People think they hit a nerve. That is, so you can't just say, I can't say nothing. Cool, heard you. I heard you. I heard you. Cool, no doubt. Who's Ashley? That's me, sir. Patrick, the trolls are coming hard tonight. I know, right? But you know, everybody got a job to do. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a job to do. Okay. All right. So again, thank God that they caught this pilot before taking off. Again, he had hundreds of people's lives at stake. So shout out to Southwest Airlines for doing their due diligence and making sure that, you know, he didn't take off and you know, the worst could have happened. So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Question. Now, when again, y'all heard me say earlier in the show, I don't use the word black because we're not 3/5 of a person or people. So I use the word culture instead. And black has a thing to it that people need to really look up and understand the research on the word black and why we're called black in this country. So that's another thing. Another story for another episode. But question is, why does the culture find value in violence? That's my question. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Why do the culture find value in violence? Let me know in the chat. Let me know as I drink my water. Let me know. And the reason why I came up with this question is because I was on TikTok, and this guy was on a podcast, and you know, he was bragging that he was from Brooklyn, and you know, he went to a new city. He had moved to a new city, and you know, the area was just surprised how the area turned up with all this violence and all this, you know, negativity. And I'm like, wow, a lot of our culture finds value in violence. Now, I know why violence is necessary in the business world, but I never understood why we find value in the culture just as a community. Like we see all the time on social media as well. When somebody goes to another neighborhood, they not from that state, they not from that city. Yo, where you from? Yo, you gotta check in, bro. Yo, what set you claiming? You don't do that shit to the white folks that come over there. But you do it to somebody that look like you. That's smart. That only is gonna invoke some sort of negative energy and negative connection. It'll be different. Like, yo, bro, where you from? Oh, all right, cool. You from over there? Boom. Let's link up. Let's do something positive. Why is that not going on? Why do we find so much value in violence in our own community? I'm just saying. Because we glamorize it. And even though it may be a reality for a lot of us had that type of upbringing where it was violence. It was dog eat dog. It was a lot of dudes in your neighborhood, and it was just competitive. So you had to, make your way and do what you need to do. But it's a mentality that's not real. When you're dealing in the real world, you have to really deprogram yourself from all of these negative stereotypes, because in the real world, you can't pay your bills or violence. You can't. You have a new residence, and it's called jail. It's called prison. And you have an extended stay if you do it for too much, too long, and to the wrong person. So let's keep this all the way real. Being a gangster is not something that is that's not a glamorized thing. And I'm gonna sound like the old guy in the room, but I grew up boxing. I grew up playing football and basketball. A lot of my friends that didn't do anything constructive stayed in the street life. All of them went to jail. All of them did long stints in prison, except for about 100. You know what the 100, you know where they're at right now? They're gone. And I don't say that half-heartedly, and I'm not throwing no ears or no extras on that. I mean that literally. So it's a mindset that we wrapped into that it's a backwards mindset. It's called the Willie Lynch mindset. Fat versus skinny, dark versus light, red versus blue. What happened to the respect and having the bras around? And we find so much value in this violence, and all it do at the end of the day, it keeps the prison filled. Keeps it filled. When's the last time they came to your community like, yeah, don't fight. Don't get into it, guys. You have a more constructive way of dealing with your problems and your issues. When's the last time you heard that? Never. They want you to go to jail. It's an industry. Jail is an industry. So when we find value in violence, modern day slavery. In prison, they pay you by pennies. They don't pay you 16, 17 an hour. No. A hot 40 cents an hour. How that sound? That's cool? Nah, who cares? If you don't like it, go back to your cell. So it's just a backwards mentality that we find value in it. It's not just about reporting it. We find value in it. It's not that we find value to the point where we make it benefit to ourselves. And what I mean by that is this. Organization. Now, it'll be different if you had an organization in your neighborhood and it was based on real protection. Not street protection in the sense where we protect the people that's from here or this, that, and the third. No, you protect real things. You protect the community against evildoers, not people that just there with a different colored jersey or a flag. You're protecting it from evildoers, such as evil cops, such as robbers, and anybody in your neighborhood that's looking to do evil. That's how real protection is really formed, by standing on something, by having a standard. It just baffles me that we really find value in violence. We really find value in saying, "Yo, I know I'm from the Bronx, right? But yo, when I went to Chicago, yo, I turned it up, baby." What? Turned it up how? With violence? Come on, bruh. It's the same everywhere. Whether it's Chicago, Brooklyn, Bronx, Los Angeles, you end up in one place. There is no gangster hall of fame, bro. There's none of that. You're a cautionary tale. You lose your life, your family lose you, and the community lose you. What are we talking about? So I just wish that our community didn't find so much value in it. Now, when I said earlier, I understand the value of violence in business. I understand the value of it, but I don't like it. So, for example, most areas that have violence and that turn up, it's on purpose. They let you do that. They let you turn up. It's not if, it's when. It's inevitable. They let you do that to keep the property value down. This is not me preaching. This is about me telling you something that's real. It's a bigger piece of the puzzle at play. They keep the property value down so that way people with real money could come into the neighborhood, buy everything up for cheap. Pennies on the dollar. And just so happily, 10 years down the line, the neighborhood don't look the same, do it? They start moving other people into the neighborhood. People that make over a certain amount of money, which called gentrification. Get these people up out and get these people in. When I go back to Brooklyn, I ain't gonna lie. Certain areas in Brooklyn, I don't even recognize anymore. Some of these areas that I lived in Brooklyn all my life was some of the most violent places that you could ever live. It's not the same like that now. They moved the people out and moved some people in. But it was strategy at play that in our mind, we don't see the big picture. We worrying about the block. Yo, this is my block. Your block to do what? Your block to protect from evildoers? Or your block to protect it from somebody that look like you and you just want to say you could dominate him physically? What does that solve? Instead of getting together like, yo, bro, I did some research on some money and property. Yo, we could run this play. If you focus on that, I focus on this. We bring this together. We could get to the bag. And we could buy, and it could be for us, by us around this piece. It's a bigger play at hand, y'all. Bigger play at hand. So I just wish my culture didn't find value, so much value in violence. Shout out to the chat. Y'all been buzzing in the chat. Shout out to Monica. I think we heard the ones closest to us. Culture people are under such assault mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. From the border society, we tend to release that on our own. Most crime is done in close areas of each other. That is also a fact. But we need to change that narrative around, though, because it hurts us the most. It hurts us the most. We're the only group of people that don't have a power structure. And what that means is we're the only group of people that could be disrespected, humiliated, killed, murdered, and there's nobody to answer for that. When you do that to other groups and cultures, you got to answer for that shit. Us, there's nobody to answer for that. So that's why we have to do a better job by not celebrating and not holding up that type of culture. You know, so there's a lot of truth to what you saying. I don't disagree. Patrick, my dog Patrick Torres, people are ignorant and it comes down to having an education. Educated people don't behave that way. Uh, Same way parents today, they discipline the child before the cops do. A cry to the wilderness, true and beautiful. Um, Education is a factor. Education is a factor, but it's not. And I know you're not saying that it is. I know you're not saying that it's end or be all, but it is a factor because education give you a place to tap into where you have other ways to dealing with problems. But it's not just education as far as formal education. It has everything to do with other education such as this. When is the last time you've seen rites of passage programs? When have you seen more programs that's dialed into children that doesn't play sports? Because kids that play football and basketball early, they gonna get that type of understanding and knowledge for the most part through their coaching. But there's not a community of kids that get together that's not a part of a sporting team that could kind of get that education. When I was a kid, they curved that by having rites of passage programs. And in these programs, it taught people to use more than just their fists because, again, I know I sound old. I have no problem telling y'all my age because I told y'all many times before, I'm 41 years old. The goal is to get older. Again, our culture has this thing where, oh my God, you just had a birthday? That's crazy. Like, we're supposed to get older, okay? But when I was younger, growing up, it was very violent. Kids was getting shot. Kids were getting stabbed. It was very violent. We grew up fighting, shooting, murdering, stabbing, the whole 9 yards. So you had to know what you was doing in that arena when it comes to fighting, especially growing up in New York City. It's gladiator sport 24/7. But what I loved about my era, we did have guys in my youth era that gave back to the community by having rites of passage programs, by having, just things where kids could get together and the adults could give them game and give them knowledge of self. So I love that aspect of it too. Uh, Bro, I speak from a guy who was born and raised in the South Bronx. You feel me? You feel me? So you understand the level of the violence. You understand that. I understand completely when you talk about the Bronx because I used to do a lot of business on 149th and 3rd, Fordham Road, Tremont Road, Morningside. I mean, Wakefield, So I get that completely. And education, again, is also more than just formal education. We have to have knowledge of self, power of self, knowledge of being, and understanding the grand scheme of things. Not to say you can't never get mad, not to say you're never going to end up in a fight, not to say that you are never going to get into things that's kind of below you, but you see the big picture and you understand there's another choice that you can make. But we glorify this shit. We celebrate this shit. We no longer just report it. We celebrate. We find value in this shit. We do, and it's just terrible. People are losing their life left and right for something that's we value, and it's negative. Like people value gold chains, nice watches, jewelry, and the whole nonsense, and people are willing to kill for it instead of working hard and getting the money to do it on your own. I live in an area in a place where that's frowned upon. Like that's one thing I could say about Florida. People here, they love to shine and they find it inspirational, but they want to get it on their own, but they don't want to do it negatively because they want to enjoy that shit. That's one thing I could definitely say about Florida than not from, my hometown of New York City, Brooklyn in the South. Are you, shout out to V Van. I think he was asking, are you from Houston? I think I answered that already. We also had tougher skin. That's a fact. Yeah, Yeah, that's not even close, Rowan. It's not even close. We definitely had tougher skin. Shout out to William. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. We can teach we can teach a child to learn, but until we teach a child how to think. There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. But we have to understand that being solid and strong individually is beneficial, but it's more beneficial when you could click up with people, not just in your community, in your local community, but worldwide, and y'all could spread a message. We could spread a message on how to deal with certain situations that's unbecoming to us. We still have to have the ability to protect, to defend, to put foot to ass when needed. Still gotta have the ability for that, bro. That's a fact. That's a fact. I respect Martin Luther King. Very much so. I respect Malcolm X. My only thing with Martin Luther King that I disagree with is that, and I agree with to some degree, violence, anti-violence with more violence only gives you more violence, right? There's some truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. But see, I'm just of the mindset, if you got a gun, I got a gun. If you shoot, I'm going to shoot. I don't want to shoot this thing, bro. If we have to have an issue, for real, let's talk. Let's talk. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to stab you. I don't want to shoot you. I really believe all things can be cleared up with a nap and some conversation. And you'll be surprised where you could get just by having a fight. Now, I'm not going to lie. Growing up as a child in Brooklyn, I made all my friends, or 90% of my friends, by fighting them. I'm not going to lie. We fought, now they my friend. I grew up like that. But at the end of the day, as a grown-ass man, where do that get us? Are we still fighting in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, and 50s? Come on, we got to be sensible about this. So we got to stop having so much value in violence. And it's in our culture, and it's so rampant in our culture. And it's so detrimental to our culture. So we got to start thinking and doing better, y'all. And I'm not saying that to rant. I'm not saying that to be a judge or to preach. Nah, this is real spill. We got to find value in being able to understand the bigger picture. Shout out to Monica. It's time to fight. Love that. And it's not just time to fight from a physical standpoint. It's mental. And it's about fighting with each other, for each other, then instead of against each other. Because we fight each other better than anybody else. Better than anybody else. If I say it's the sky is blue, there's going to be somebody on here that's going to be calling me names and all this other, and the sky's red, ooh, da 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 da. Knowing they wouldn't say that to me in person. But just, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're going to say what they say, but it's not respectable because we love to fight each other. Shout out to Rowan Jack again. As long as we have guns, we have peace. So you get why I was going with the gun method. You get why I was going with that. And plus, because I live in Florida, everybody here has a gun. Everybody. But you'll be surprised. You don't hear a lot of gunplay like that in Florida. For real. You don't. Everybody got a gun out here. Everybody. Everybody has a gun in Florida. From the women to the men, everybody got one. But you find more people having fist fights in Florida than you have with the gunplay. So, and Texas too. Texas is like that too. Shout out to shout out to Albert. Many issues here. Mother Earth, common ground. Children must be raised. Facts. Ashley, do you have a tip on? Sure. Okay. Shout out to you. Uh, Galeo, appreciate you tapping in. You referencing to the Black Panthers utilization of weapons. Militant is sadly in need in somewhere like the USA, but shout out to JT being weird. Yeah, I'll take your girl with my hairline, bro. Weirdo. Uh, no place is perfect, though. I'm not a hater. Facts. No place is perfect. No place is perfect. I live in Washington, but I love guns. To Florida, bro, you have to. Yeah, bro, you a weirdo. Like, this dude is so weird. Talk about crisscross. You trying to get that off so bad. So bad. I'm the type of dude, like, when you with your girl, like, you keep her away from me, bro. I can already, by that comment alone, bro. But I appreciate you tapping in, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s, man. But yes, but yeah, Florida, Texas, Georgia. A lot of people got guns, and again, of course, they have gun incidents. But you mainly hear more people getting it in the street, baby. They keep the gun in the car, and we're going to chuck it. You know what I mean? But again, it's one thing to have a disagreement or a dispute or a fight or a knuckle sandwich fight, but it's another thing to find value in it, and that's killing our culture. Uh, Grandpa Ash can smash. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm only 41. I'm only 41. Yeah, like they saying it like I think it's a bad thing. I'm happy to be 41. Are you kidding me? 30 years from now, I'm gonna be old. And I'm gonna be, I wish I was 41. I wish I could still smash your grandma, your moms, your auntie, your big cousin, your big sister, as long as she's over 21. You're supposed to get older. That's the whole purpose. This guy just had a birthday. Whoa, the jokes. He's getting older. Like, what are you talking about, weirdo? Supposed to. I don't want to be in my 20s anymore. My 20s was crazy. Issues, drama all over the place, always locked up, always in jail. I don't got time for that, baby. Nah, cool. Call me all you want. But I live a good life, bro, so it's just weird. Hopefully you'll see 41 one day. Hopefully. So God bless you. How many bodies you got? Bro, I don't speak about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which bodies you talking about? You talking about ladies or, you know what I'm saying? Because we talking about, you know what I'm saying? I don't got no bodies, bro. Nope. You ain't, the feds be, nope. No teardrop, y'all. What 50 Cent say? I ain't gang. Nope. I ain't gang. Nope. I'm a grown man. I'm about my business. Nobody's over here. You're not gonna get me to indict myself. Nope. I'm not my younger brothers when they come up here and say, "Hey, I got 8 bodies." Nah. Nope. All right. So if you do count San Andreas with Carl, I got over 2,000 kills. With Carl, with CJ, I got 2,000 kills. Other than that, they ain't gonna get me to do that, bro. No. No. Women, bro. So women, I can't even say, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything like that either, you know. I tell you this. I say I got two. I got two bodies. 2 bodies. That's it. I just got 2. The first one and the last one. But yeah. But shout out to y'all on that, you know. Then you need a hitman, villain. Nah, you know what I'm saying? El Chapo, nah, I don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of respect out here. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of respect out here. You know? I don't know what. Y'all are funny, man. Appreciate y'all. Hit them likes, y'all. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Where's your grades if you're proud of your age? Where's my grades if I'm proud of my age? That should let you know something. This is no Beijing over here. This is all natural, baby. This is genetics, baby. I got grays in my bed, but I can't help it if I don't got a lot. You feel what I'm saying? I take care of myself. So what you talking about? I don't understand that. No Beijing. I don't take the trip to Beijing. That's what I'm saying. So shout out to you. How another man gonna tell another man you shit? Like, stop being a weirdo, bro. Stop. Don't do it. You sound like a weirdo when you say stuff like that. You're telling on yourself. You telling on yourself, bro. Stop. Just a weirdo. Knowing damn well if you see me in person, you will be having your girl in a tuck be like, don't you look at this nigga. Don't be weird, bro. Moving on with the show. All right, y'all. Moving on to my next hot topic. The NCAA has penalized the University of Michigan, my school, of course. The University of Michigan, 4-year probation, $20 million, a $20 million fine. Also, 10% of football team's budget, which is crazy. How you take 10% of a team's football budget? That's crazy. They also fine with basically losing all monies for the next 2 postseason games. Also, 10% of all scholarships will be forfeited. 25% in official visits for recruiters. And week 14 has limitations on recruiting commits as well. And then this also stems for Coach Harbaugh, who's now with the Los Angeles Chargers. I always say San Diego, but Los Angeles Chargers. He also is added a 10-year show cause, and Con Stallions, who's the former defensive analyst, an 8-year show cause, and the current coach Sharon Moore gets a 2-year show cause and a 3-game suspension. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Here's my thing. It's crazy when the NCAA finally wants to step up and do something. They always do it to Michigan, always to my school. And then secondly, all right, y'all gonna take $20 million to do what with? To do what with? Y'all just gonna just take that? There's other schools that could use $20 million. Why not give it to a school who's, underdeveloped? Why not give the money to them? Why not give the money to a cause of former students that played in the game? Like, what happened to some of these families that have kids who are sick from playing college football, maybe an extended medical coverage? Nah, they just gonna pocket that 20 mil. So it kills me when they say, oh, we're gonna take 20 mil on top of that. Like, 20 mil is really something to a school like Michigan. We don't care about no damn 20 mil. You could take that. 20 mil to Michigan is like $20, for real. For real. We're gonna make that up in 1 week. People think I'm exaggerating when I say that. Michigan University, we hold the biggest stadium in the world as far as football stadium. Our stadium is bigger than the Dallas Cowboys stadium. We hold more people. So y'all worried about 20 mil? Bro, if we got 6 games a year, over 108,000 people in the damn stands, all sold out. Let's round that off. We're talking about, for a bad ticket, about $250 for a bad ticket. For a great ticket, we're talking about thousands of dollars. 108,000 people sold out. 20 mil? We didn't even talk about the parking lot. We didn't even talk about concessions. We didn't even talk about merchandise. Please. 20 mil what? Give me a break. We eat that 20 mil. Pause. The thing that kills me is the fact that being that they taking the 20 mil, they not putting it to anything positive. That's one. Number two, you're going to take 10% of our team budget? What? That makes no sense. The NCAA makes up their own rules as they go along. For real. And then there's going to be another team that comes out of nowhere that does what we did or whatever what we supposed to do. Every team does it. It's just that we got caught. So what? Every team does. That's why they couldn't vacate the damn national championship, because every team does it. And it was just the way we did it. Oh, now we cheating. But if this team is doing the same exact thing, but they just didn't do it this way, oh, they cool. Give me a break, yo. Give me a break. This is college football, the most anticipated sport, the most exciting sport that the U.S. has. I look forward to college football way more than the NFL. If you've never seen a college football game, it's the most exciting thing that you could ever see. You think NFL fans is on one? College fans is on a whole nother level. We bout that life. If you talk to a Michigan fan, you talk to an Alabama fan, you talk to an Ohio fan, you talk to a Florida State fan, you talk to a Nebraska fan, you talk to a USC fan. It's beef. And it's like that forever. We don't care who wear the jersey. It's up and it's stuck. Not to mention my Michigan, we've been beating the dog pants of Ohio for the last, quarter of the decade. You know what I'm saying? Just a little light stuff that we do, a little light work. You know what I'm saying? We beating them so good that they got lost change because we playing our flag in their home. And they don't like that. They don't like that. That's how much beef that it is. But what's beautiful in that, it's a respected rivalry that people look forward to every year. That brings interest into the sport because of the hatred. It's an organized hatred. Nonetheless, Ohio has some of the best players that we're always going to see. But at the end of the day, it's beef when it comes to Michigan. We went 8-5 last year, and we beat them. I'm just saying, beef. And that drives the sport. So them trying to take our budget for something that other teams do is crazy. I'm not jacking this at all. But we'll survive. We cool. We'll be cool. We're going to be all right. And we're going to run it back. And we're going to beat Ohio this year. I said it. We're going to beat Ohio this year with a freshman quarterback. True freshman, that is. I said it. We was going to do it this past year. Everybody thought I was bugging because Ohio State was undefeated. They got the best player in college football. Oh, Michigan, y'all 7-5. Y'all don't got no quarterback. Y'all don't got no receivers. Oh, well, all right. And then our tight end didn't even play. Our first round tight end didn't play. He went first round. Our second round corner, who should have went top 5 in the draft, but he only slid down because of an injury, he didn't play neither. No quarterback, no receivers, and we still bust that ass. You know what I'm saying? So it's whack that they did that. I'm just saying. It's whack. Super whack. Shout out to the chat. What do the alumni have to say about it? WWE more real than the WNBA. Can I just say thank you, Father, for all our blessings. I love that. Child of God. I love that. That's fire. I love that. Yes, absolutely. We having a good time. This is nothing but a good time up here. Albert, the greatest issue is we issue love. We learn by example and to give and thank God. Yeah, that's a fact. So we had a weirdo. We're going to hook him up with some tickets at the block party. Appreciate that. But yes. Nope. Yeah. I love that, Monica. Shout out to Monica. Appreciate you, Monica. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Question. Another question for you guys. How important is to the culture that we own and or run our own media platforms and networks? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. How important is it to the culture that we owned and or run our own media platforms and networks? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know. Going back to the Michigan thing real quick. Shout out to Ty Eagle in the building. After what happened to the Fab Five and how the alumni turned on their own. I'm a Georgetown fan, university fan. Yes, I know it's basketball, but I love seeing Ohio State getting crushed. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. You know what's crazy to add on to that, right? Even though I'm a Michigan fan, the culture, you see how the culture roots for the Cleveland Browns because of Shador. We root for Colorado because of Coach Prime, right? Back in the day, everybody's team was Georgetown. Even though my team has always been Michigan, always, whether it's football, basketball, I always rooted for Georgetown as well because it was the culture's team. You see what I'm saying? So I understand that sentiment. So shout out to you. Shout out to uh, Child of God. That would be lovely. We all deserve to follow our dreams. I just finished great year at law school. Well-deserved success in our own lanes. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Child of God, man. Love that. Love that. Love that. Shout out to Kevin. Please don't be weird, man. Please don't be weird. If you're here to support, I know you're trying to make me laugh, pause, but again, please don't be weird. You know, hit the likes, hit the 100s, please. All right, y'all, moving on. Again, the question was, how important is it to the culture community that we own and run our own media platforms and networks? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Don't forget to hit them likes. Don't forget to hit the 100s as well in the chat. For me, I think this is very essential moving forward. We spoke about earlier how the culture, we find value in violence. If we ran our own media platforms, if we owned our own media platforms, this is the first line of defense in changing some of these narratives. Kyrie Irving had mentioned a couple days back, and I had mentioned it on the previous show, that he doesn't support the YN culture because it has a negative image and it is nothing positive, and it's only relegated to the culture community. And I jack that because we have so many interesting, talented, young people coming out the gate that they putting their energy all into the wrong things. That's why I'm not gonna lie. I support somebody like a lot of the streamers that's out trying to be positive, trying to put that type of energy into the ecosystem. A lot of the streamers that's out there doing their thing. Shout out to Kai Sanat, Talil, Dez from Brooklyn. Shout out to Dez from Brooklyn, and so many others that are super positive. That even though Dez is funny when he crashes out, but it's funny though. It's not like a negative thing. It's just funny. But at the end of the day, I love the fact that they're up there being positive, being themselves, and we have more of our younger brothers and sisters that's really on positive. But the YN culture shines more because it's negative, and it's shining more because it's supposed to, in the sense of the algorithm. So we ran our own media platforms, ran our own networks. It's the first line of defense to debunk all of that, because we're not going to show nothing that's always negative. You get what I'm saying? Like we will report what needs to be reported, but to celebrate it. Like I speak on things every show, whether it's positive or negative, but I'm reporting it. It's not like I'm here celebrating something negative. And that's a part of having our own media and having our own channels that are ran by us and owned by us, because it gives people, a real chance to really get a first-hand view on the inside of what we're really thinking on the inside. Because I say this all the time as well. Nothing brings people together faster and quicker than subcultures. Subcultures is football teams, basketball teams, podcasting, things that we all take interest in. Music, the music culture, the movie culture. If you love movies, people get together and speak on their love for that. And that's not a culture community thing or a white thing. Can you imagine if, to enjoy movies, you have to be white. To enjoy music, you have to be cultured. What? Nah. that music and that everything in our culture, whether it's media based, whether it's music, whether it's entertainment, it's enjoyed by all, and it brings people together, and we could share our experiences in a way where we could understand each other, still respect each other, and it's not always going to be kumbaya. You still might have to two-piece somebody every now and again, but that's not always the answer. You get what I'm saying? There's other options and there's other places where we could go. And I'm just speaking on it because I was trying to be funny a little bit. But y'all get what I'm saying. It's the point that I'm making is that controlling our own and not making it prevalent is not a monolithic experience when it comes to cultured people. So we wouldn't have to worry about negative images being proliferated at an alarming rate. We wouldn't have to worry about seeing videos. Yo, if you come to this part of Brooklyn after 9, it's lights out. Oh, if you come to this part of Cali, yo, if you come at this time, yo, it's lights out. That's all a backwards mentality, because it's not standing on anything real. It's not standing on anything that's just. You're not doing that to people that need to be done to, that's in embark of any type of harmony, any type of realness in our own community. So it's very important, in my opinion, that we control our own media platforms, run our own media platforms, own our own networks. It's very important, because if we keep leaving it up to TikTok, Instagram, and so on and so forth, then these things will continue to get shown and plastered in our algorithm. And it's being done for a reason. It's feeding an industry. You think Instagram makes money by you having a profile? No. No. They make money from other industries that say, yo, we need this being put in the algorithm and we need this shown a little bit more. Your algorithm is based on anything could go. So we need this in here 70% more than anything positive. When is the last time you went on your anything and the first 10 things that you seen on there was anything positive? I'm not gonna lie, when I go on my Instagram, the first thing I see on my Instagram is butt cheeks. I mean, the Instagram has turned into Pornhub for real, because everything I see on Instagram, women is butt naked. I'm just saying. When I go to TikTok, nothing but negative energy. All I see is people, robbing somebody, killing somebody on their live. It's always something negative. Well, I just heard about the shooting in Brooklyn that claimed 11 people's lives. All of this is included into how we move, how we think, how we operate. I made this joke to one of my exes back in the day. This was so long ago. This is probably like 2012. And the reason why I remember so vividly, because of what I used to watch. I used to watch Love and Hip Hop. I thought when Love and Hip Hop first came on, I thought it was supposed to show love and hip hop. I was supposed to see hip hop people that I grew up to in their relationships and how they navigate life. That sounds cool. But when we see on Love and Hip Hop, it's negative, it's catty. And I said to my ex at the time, I said, yo, every time we watch Love and Hip Hop, we get into an argument. And she like, nah, that's not true. That's not true. I'm like, it is true. It's a part of what we watch. It's a part of what we digest and what we breathe in, because it's the last thing on our mind. So we have to be very careful on what we have as our images. So again, that's why it's so important to own our own platforms, run our own platforms, own our own networks, and so forth and so forth. So again, I think it's important to the culture that we own and run our own platforms and medias and networks. What do you feel about Travis Hunter? Shout out to Travis Hunter. Shout out to Travis Hunter. Tupac, you can't beat him. Shout out to Richard Crushing. Don't want to beat Tupac. I spoke on Tupac not too long ago. You want to fight? Facts. So yeah, BET Awards. Spoke on the BET Awards. Travis Hunter though, shout out to Travis Hunter. He's a great player. I hope he pulls off playing both ways. I do want to see that. I hope he pull it. Everybody's saying he can't do it. I hope he pulls that off. I hope he pulls that off. He's a great player. He's a great player. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve in the NFL because the guys are bigger, stronger, and faster. But if anybody could get it done playing both ways and at a high level, it's Travis Hunter. I didn't think he could do it when he first came into college at Jackson State. And I was like, yo, this kid is really doing it. Then he went to Colorado. And I was like, yo, this kid is nasty. So shout out to Travis Hunter. God bless you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Shout out to Burner in the building. Hit them likes, hit them 100s, Burner. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. BET Awards. I'm glad the BET Awards is done and over with for a couple years. I spoke about that previously. And the reason why I'm glad that they no longer have the BET Awards or Soul Train Awards because it hasn't been connected to the culture community in quite some time. Quite some time. Quite some time. They tried to make an effort, but again, the foundation of the BET Awards, the basis of the Soul Train Awards is trash. They're not tapped into new artists. I remember the BET Awards, Soul Train Awards used to break new acts, and it was all balanced. The reason why Tupac stood out is because he was in the industry at a time when you had balance of artists. You had your gangster rap. You had your reality rap. You had your positive rap. You had your hope tap rap. You had your reggae rap. You had different styles of rap in the culture that all shine, all because it was different. That's why Tupac shined. Tupac came at a time where he was talking about things where it was like, yo, he got some real substance with Brenda Got a Baby and Dear Mama. He had songs like that. Just from an artist standpoint, I'm not talking about Tupac the man, because I know how I feel about Tupac as the man. I'm trying to be positive here. But him as an artist, he shined because he was in a space and place where it was cool to be different. Nas was different. Snoop Dogg was different. So yeah, that's where the BET Awards and the Soul Train Awards missed that mark. Scarface, we spoke about Scarface in the beginning of the episode. Scarface, Ghetto Boys was fire. Like they shined because they was different. I mean, outside the fact that they was great MCs, but they was different. Are you Snoop Doggy Dogg? It's crazy you saying that because when I listen to hip hop, I feel aggressive. As soon as I listen to country, it's different vibes, vibration, or aspects of our behaviors. I just vibe, keep it positive. I love the vibe. Oh, appreciate that. Appreciate that basket in the building. Appreciate that. Believe in that. Affection Angel. Appreciate that. Damn, appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Roger Evans. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, all music hits you differently. Music in itself, again, it's not, everybody's not going to feel every single music the same way. That's why all music is needed. Swag rap is needed. Gangster rap is needed. Reality rap is needed. Stripper culture rap is needed a little bit. Positive rap is needed a lot. You know, all different styles of the art form is needed. But when one really shines more than the other, more to the point where it's not about talent, then it becomes about agenda. So I'm not mad at that. I feel the passion of music is everything. You know, I was watching a movie. I spoke about it earlier today called Warrior, and I told y'all to go watch it. And it was interesting in the movie in itself. They was talking about entrance music, right? I'm not telling y'all the movie. I told y'all to go watch it. But they was talking about entrance music. And I was like, damn, if I would have took boxing to the next, if I would have continued boxing and really was like, you know, going for it, I'm like, damn, what would my interest music be, right? And for a second, I was like, would it be J. Cole, Hands in the Air? I'm like, nah. It would be DMX, Lord Give Me a Sign. That would be my interest music. for a fact. And then the crazy thing is that song gets a strong reaction out of me every single time. It damn near brings tears to my eyes. So you can imagine if I chose to box professionally and I'm coming to the ring and I got tears coming out my eyes and people think like, oh, he's scared. Not, it's just the power of the music. The way DMX was rapping on that song and his words in that song to every parcel of that damn production hit me differently, and it gives me so much strength. You ever get so much strength that you cry and that you tear up? That song does that to me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna get no gangster award. I don't need the gangster award because in real life I'm crazy. But that would be my interest music if I was boxing. Lord, give me a sign, because it would be unfair because it gives me such an adrenaline rush. It gives me it has such power over my emotional state. So shout out to rest in peace to DMX. I need a tip drill. I need a tip drill. I need a tip drill to get a different type of emotion out of me, Monica. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It must be hit your face. I need a, yeah, that's been popping. Bro, I will. Checking you out. Peace. Everyone blessed. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Are you a southpaw? No. No. Not a southpaw. Big righty, baby. Big righty. DMX Slippin', best song he did. There's no debate in that. Slippin' is the best song that he's done. Yes. Yes, that's a fact. Yes. But Lord Give Me a Sign does something to me that Slippin' doesn't, you know. But Slippin' is his best song, hands down. 50 years old with Chris Cross. This must be the same guy with like a different with different pages, because he's been saying the same thing all night. And it's weird because he wouldn't tell me this in person, and he would definitely cuff his girl and leave his girl away from me. Do you do birthday parties? I'm looking to book some entertainment for my granddaughter. If you're serious about it, I do. If you're serious, just tap into ouvrecords@gmail.com. Can you shout me out? I'm having an awful night. Shout out to Hector. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Yo, y'all been so dope, so fire. Moving on to our next to our next segment. Moving on to our next segment. Keep the Lie Live segment. This is my Keep the Lie Live segment of this episode. Question. My Keep the Lie Live for this episode, my question is, why are fathers treated as our first enemies in this country? It seems like we have no compassion, no grace. It just feels like you could just get rid of dad when you don't, agree. And in this country, like, a lot of people feel like they outgrow their father. It's like, how do you outgrow a dad? Like, you always need a dad. Rest in peace to my parents. I lost my parents back to back. Like, my mom died and then my father died 2 years later. And what was weird about that, even though I was in my mid-20s when I lost them, mid to late 20s. I'll say late 20s. I was in my late 20s. I need them more now than I did as a kid. Because you don't never lose use of a mom or a dad. But in our community, and just in all communities at that, I'm not talking about just from a culture community, I'm talking about all communities. It's like fathers are so disposable. And it's like our only value in the eyes of some, not everybody, in some, is whether we're in service. If we're not in service, then we have no value. And it's so weird because as I got older, the more I wanted to take care of my parents, the more I was in service to them, and the less they was in service to me. And because I had my daughter at a very young age, I had my daughter at 17, 18. Like, I know I don't look it, but my daughter is 22. And when I was having her, and I would say prior before that, I was always treated as a grown ass man. And that was part of the reason why I felt like I didn't need them growing up, because I was already doing grown things, not just having kids, but just the life that we was living, taking care of myself and just, you know, being responsible for my own actions, not them being responsible for my actions. But I still needed them. But too many times in our culture, I see that fathers is such disposable. Like, we teach our kids not to be loving and have grace and compassion for their dads. Human beings mess up. From the last time I checked, fathers are men and men are human. We're gonna mess up. And it's like, why do we have to mess up to lose out on you? Why do we have to mess up to get no grace, to get no lack of compassion? So it makes me wonder, like, yo, where is this coming from? Because I just don't see this, again, in the cultured community. I see this in all communities where, again, I'm 41. When I was younger, I see my parents have a love and respect for their parents like no other. And these are grown ass people. And my pops is calling his mom ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. He's calling his dad, yes, sir. No, sir. What they need something, he go above and beyond to do it. I mean, my mom's parents died much younger than my dad, but you get the point that I'm making. They was always in service of their parents. And mind you, their parents wasn't perfect. My parents wasn't perfect. But I cut you if you mess with them. I was their protector as well. Not just somebody that loved on them and protect them. And I had a different relationship with my parents. Me and my dad was more like brothers than anything. We was that close. My mom, I say this all the time, and not in a creepy way, my mom raised me to be a man that she wanted to be with, not the son that she raised. And what I mean by that, she didn't raise me to get with me. She raised me to, if she was a younger lady, so basically she raising me for a woman that's ready for real life. That's the point that I'm making. I always have a weird way of connecting that, but yeah, I get the point nonetheless, right? And my dad, he raised me to be the man that he wanted to be, not the man that he was. Because even though we was like brothers, we argued like cats and dogs, but respectfully. And I'm talking about argue like, like this. Michael Jordan did play for the Bulls. No, he played for the Wizards. Like, he played for both, bro. Chill. You know what I'm saying? But y'all get the point that I'm making, right? But there's just a respect level, even when we did have bad arguments. There was always a place for me to say, I'm sorry, or for them to say, I'm sorry. There was an understanding that they're not disposable. And too easily, the fathers in this era is disposable. And I see more fathers now putting in work, spending time with their kids, take care of their kids more than prior before. Like, even though the fathers was there, they may have not been present, because present don't make you present. That makes sense? But they was there. And because they was there, it was good enough. Because they was positive. Because they whooped our ass when we needed to get whooped. Because they praised us when we needed to get praised. And not holding a grudge over a situation that may have happened. So at the end of the day, I don't understand why fathers are so easily disposable in this era, when fathers do more now than ever before. I just don't understand it. Present is present. It's not. Present isn't present, sir. I disagree with that, Josh. I severely disagree with that. if you saying present is not present, but you said present is present. And the reason why present isn't present, just because somebody's there doesn't mean they're there. You know what I'm saying? And just because I see my dad every weekend, that don't mean we spend time together. He was doing his thing, I was doing my thing. But it was enough that I seen my dad every weekend. To my other brothers, they may have needed his presence. You see what I'm saying? So, shout out to Ike Love in the building. Appreciate you, Ike Love, for tapping in, man. Appreciate you, as always. Monica, is it due to baby mama, baby daddy culture, lack of marriage leads to fathers not being present in homes and creating multiple children with different women? No. See, the baby mama, baby daddy culture is only negative is because of what is being showed. You don't need marriage to have a stable family environment. It helps, but to create a broken home doesn't mean y'all not together. When you have a broken home, it's really when y'all not on the same page. That's all that really is. Like it was funny. I'm trying not to bring my situation, but my daughter always lived with me growing up, right? And as long as me and her mother was always on the same page, my daughter got a message loud and clear. Now, if I say something that her mother say something differently, then that's broken. You see what I'm saying? But when a kid gets the same message, then that's not broken. My parents was married for 12 years before they broke up. And I spent majority of my life with them not together. Right? But because they was, anytime they was on the same page, I don't know, maybe I was a different kid. That's what I'm saying, I shouldn't use me, because I benefited from them not being together in the sense where I got away with stuff. If they was together, I wouldn't have got away with nothing because they thought the same way. So anytime they got wind of the same thing, I was not getting away with it, and I hated it. I like to get away with something. You know what I'm saying? The kid version of me, I should say. But yeah. So again, to hit your point even further, broken homes is not necessarily daddy and mama not together, because people are not together all the time. If you stay together only for the kids, that's not healthy either. A healthy kid is seeing you being the best version of yourself. And sometimes that takes you and that person not to be together, because y'all could get married, have a child, and can't stand each other after that. That's not healthy neither. A broken home is when y'all don't have the same message. Let me go back up. It's a lot of, do you think we can be a problem of parents being friends with their kids instead of being role models? Fact. I love that. Pause. I love that. I think a lot of parents that do have relationships with their children, as far as adults, I think they focus more so on being friends with their children. And it's not to say that there's not, it's not the other way around. It's not to say that there's not examples of parents like, yo, I'm your parent, I ain't your friend, I'll knock you out, I understand the third. It's not to say that doesn't work either, because there obviously is parents or their relationship like that, and they still able to have relationships. They still see the value in their father. But majority of the time, most parents is trying to tap into the friend version with their kids. Like, yo, I'm not your friend, yo. No, I'm not your friend. No, I'm your provider. I'm your protector. And I'm going to look out. So that's what I'm here for. Now, I'm going to be friendly. I'm not going to be a jerk. I'm going to be friendly. But when it's time to pull your chain, I'm going to pull your chain. That's a fact. Spare the rod, spoil the child. That's a fact. That's why a lot of the YN culture comes from, because a lot of parents have opted to try to be their friend, and there's no space where there's no discipline. All children, all children, woman or kid, boy or girl, has to have a healthy fear of their parents. especially their father. Your mother needs to have the trump card. Your mother needs to be able to tell both child, or if you have one or the other, boy or girl, you don't want me to call you daddy. Hell no. Whatever you say, I'm gonna do that right now. Don't call him. That fool crazy. I rocks with you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We all got roles to play. Cause I tell you this right now, my mom's was, she was no punk. Other people fed my mother. My mother worked for Supreme Court of Justice, Supreme Court of New York for over 35 years. Name in the paper, got all types of citations, all that. I kid you not, got pictures with everybody. I had a nice little, like, mom is cool, you know what I'm saying? Oh, your mom, she cool, you know what I'm saying? She cool. I respect it. Let her be like, I'm gonna call your dad. Let her say that. Let her say she gonna call Mr. Johnson. You gonna call who? Nah, you don't need to do that. Nah, put the phone down. And I grew up in an era where we didn't have cell phones like that. So she really had to dial them 7 numbers. Yeah, nah, you cool. Nah, you want me to do that? All right, cool. I'm gonna keep a Humvee. Cause that fool crazy. See what I'm saying? So because there's a part of that missing, I think for real, the biggest difference on why some families we see the differential on the importance of dad is that mom makes dad important. Mom makes dad important. Because dad is already important. Because without dad, you wouldn't be here. You came from dad's nuts. And it's crazy. Kids can never say nothing bad about, you can never say nothing bad about your father. As nice as your mom's is, as beautiful of a lady as she is, your pops was G'd enough to crack that ass. I know you don't want to hear it, but mom took that thing up for dad. There's a reason why. He a cool dude. At some point, he was a cool dude. She sees something in him where they had y'all. We need each other to have children. But you was in the nutsack. So how can you ever diss dad? How can you diss your father? So it's just crazy to me how disposable that dads are. Like a joke is, it's kind of funny though. I've seen it on stream where they were like, they'd crack jokes or whatever. They were like, yo, do you know your dad though? And then it would be like a funny thing. And it's funny, right? Just for entertainment's sake. But there's some sadness to that, right? It's like, damn, like you could really joke. I'm like, yo, do you even know your pops? That's a flex now. So we have to stop as a culture, and I'm talking about all cultures, having dads being so disposable. Oh, mom not getting along with dad, so I'm gonna just go rock with mom. You don't have to choose. You don't have to choose. You came out of your dad's balls and you was carried by your mother. You don't have to choose. I didn't ask to be here. Shit, your parents didn't ask to be here neither. Last time I checked. None of us have a decision on the matter. Kid, that's one of the things kids say that's funny to me. I didn't ask to be here. Nigga, I didn't ask to be here neither. Somebody looked at somebody else. They thought they was cute. I'm here. I looked at somebody else. I thought she was cute. You here. See, that's how that works. So it's just funny to me. It's just the mindset, though. Mom could be a crack addict. She could have sold you a few times. And you would say, yo, but mom was trying her damnedest. And there's grace and there's forgiveness. But I'm seeing too many times in our community that there's no forgiveness. Like, honestly, and I said this so many times, outside of crimes against children, if y'all know what I'm talking about, you could be forgiven for anything. You could be forgiven for anything. Outside of crimes against children. If you do crimes against children, You can't be forgiven, bro. No. No. You going to Turkey with gasoline drawers on, bro. That's just my thing. That's just my thing. Pedophilia, yeah, nah. I can't do it. Unforgivable. But when you have disagreements, arguments about anything else, it's like, yo, and it's just so easy to, just, yeah, I grew up without my dad. And the crazy thing is, a lot of my friends had stepfathers. And a lot of my friends, their stepfathers are in their life. They're in their life. They see their stepfather as their stepfather. They give him the respect of dad, but their dad, they give him the respect of dad also. They may call their stepfather Steve. They may call their stepfather Mr. Jackson. They may call their stepfather by his nickname. But there's a respect level. There's a respect level that goes with that. And that's part of the mindset of the women back then, an example back then, to see the value in her even with children. On why she's so dope. That like, yo, I know she got children, but damn, she cool as shit, yo. Damn. These kids ain't that bad. Like, yo, they fuck with me, I fuck with them, yo. I'ma rock out. A lot of my friends have stepfathers. And now you have to wonder why a dude would sign up to be a stepfather, because it's kind of predatory. It's kinda. So at the end of the day, I have friends who are stepfathers to other kids, and they're great stepfathers, and they have great relationships with their family, and I love it. So again, I'm never saying that nothing can work, because we have exceptions all the time, but the exception is not the norm. So at the end of the day, I hate to see, again, that fathers are being treated as your first enemy. Like the first person, like when you get into a fight, you see your dad. Like when I got into my fights, I ain't never seen my father in the person I'm about to fight. Never. Never. My father, I will say this. I respect my dad so much. Before he passed away, we did not speak for about 3 months. I never not spoke to my dad for 3 months in a row. He did something that was foul. And I wasn't ready to forgive him. Wasn't ready to forgive him. And on top of it, because I knew he wasn't going to, I'll put this on me. I'm not going to put this on him because he's not here. Because I knew I wasn't ready to speak to him in a tone that valued his respect, I refused to speak to him. I refused to speak to him. And I got calls from my uncles, and they was asking, like, yo, your dad telling me you ain't talking to him. What happened? I know he did something. That's what they told me. I know he did something because I know you love this dude. And regardless of what he did, I wouldn't speak to him because I had too much respect for him. And if I was tight, and I wasn't ready to get over it. Long story short, I get a phone call again from my uncle. And I said, Unc, again, I'm sorry to hear about, your brother, because he had lost, a family member. He said, I'm not calling about that. I'm calling about your dad. Like, is he back in the hospital? Like, cause he having issues with his heart. He was like, no, he's gone. And one of my aunts said, I know you would love to speak to him before he would have passed. No. I wouldn't want to speak to him before we pass to patch things up. I want to speak to him just to speak to him. See what I'm saying? It's different. It's much different than wanting to speak to somebody and patch things up before they go. Nah. Love this dude too much, respect this dude too much. I want to speak to him just to speak to him. I want him to know that I loved him, still loved him. even whatever we was going through. That's the thing I wish I could have said to him. Not for the fact that, oh, we got to make up before you go. No. Just know that I love you. Always love you. So at the end of the day, when my father was here, I let him know, like, yo, I love you, dude. And that's part of the reason why I couldn't speak to him. Because I respect him too much. I respect him too much. I wouldn't allow myself to get disrespectful with him. Because I'm the type of son, I don't know about y'all, but I'm the type of son, if somebody is getting a little too aggressive with my father, a little too loud, you know what I'm saying? Let me talk to you real quick, you know what I'm saying? Let me holler at you, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. So I couldn't allow myself to speak to him in that manner. But rest in peace to my dad. Y'all probably see a picture of him with my mom to the right. I don't know if y'all see it, him and my mom a little bit to that right, but yeah. So they always around me. So again, it drives the point home even further that in our culture, fathers are so easily dismissed, so throwaway. And the importance of a dad has to be held up more by the moms in all cultures. In all cultures. Whatever your dispute is with the father, leave that between you and him. Don't put it down to the kids because the kids always feel like they have to choose. So that's my Keep the Lie Alive for tonight's episode. It's why I show everyone love that isn't too typical anymore. Kato, shout out to SE. I met you before somewhere. Shout out to you. Wait. You're from California. I'm not from California. I'm from Brooklyn, but I've been to California a whole bunch of times. Shout out to Lifted in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Again, I'm Ashley Lovechild. This is the Brothas Get a Rap podcast. I'm on every Thursday, every Sunday. Every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We a little over 11,000 subscribers. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. There's also memberships in the chat. Different memberships do get granted different access. So make sure y'all tap in. Helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to Patrick, my dude. Appreciate you. Shout out to Rowan. Appreciate you as always. I want to thank some of the sponsors of the show. Button Snaps and OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Also, I want to thank y'all for supporting my new EP. That been supporting the music. You could type in on any music platform, Ashley Lovechild. If you like that hip hop, make sure you continue to tap in and support my new EP, Winner's Loyalty. Again, thank you for supporting it. And all music. Y'all been supporting all the music from past albums and on. Y'all been supporting all the music. So thank you. I appreciate that. Also, I'm forgetting something. Again, I'm on every Sunday, every Thursday. Every Sunday, every Thursday at 10:30. So again, tap in. I love to have these conversations. We talk about everything. Whether it's entertainment, whether it's sports, social commentary, we talk about it all. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in, man. Love and life and my condolences to the people who were shot and killed in Brooklyn, New York. Of 11 people, the names have yet to be released because they still notifying the families. So love and life and condolences to those families as well. Yeah, so again, y'all make sure y'all tune in, tap in. Y'all can catch me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. So, you know, just show love, all music platform, all media platforms at Ashley Lovechild. So again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Godspeed. Oh, you showing that baby oil? I told you I got the Diddy oil. I'm telling you, I'm calling baby oil Diddy oil from here on out. Diddy made baby oil too famous. So again, anytime I have, you know, some company over, you know, nice little lady, you know what I mean? I'm gonna whip out the Diddy oil. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Y'all think I'm playing. Diddy oil. Take that, baby. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time. Have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time. I'll take a few questions if y'all got some good questions before I go out. Go out. If y'all got some good questions. I had somebody send me a question earlier. Damn, I forgot. I should have wrote it down. He said, "Oh my God, what the F was that?" That's the Diddy oil. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you have a lady over, whip out the Diddy oil. You know what I'm saying? The first thing she gonna do is laugh. That's the first thing she gonna do. She like, "Oh my God, you so crazy." And I don't care if it's a businesswoman. I don't care if it's a woman that, bartends. I don't care where this woman at. She gonna be like, "Oh my God, you so crazy." Like, yeah. What's up with that? What's up with that massage though? You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Laughter, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Get you in. Make a woman laugh. She not just gonna think you there for the, you know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah. Shout out to the ladies out there, ladies in the chat. Appreciate y'all tapping in as always. The ladies here always show me love. I appreciate that. I really do. And y'all always keep it honest too. Y'all always keep it honest. Even sometimes I say things y'all probably don't agree with, but y'all always are great sports and at least y'all listen. Cause ain't nothing wrong with people that don't listen. Especially if you listen and hit and respond. Don't be a person that listen to respond. That's for all people. Don't listen to respond. Listen to listen. So, but shout out to the ladies. They be showing love. They be showing love. Go Birds. You talking about the Falcons? Is that Larry? I know you ain't talking about the Falcons. Larry, I know you're not talking about the Falcons. Oh, Eagles. Okay. Well, you know what it is, Larry. You see it. You see it in the background. You know what it is. We got unfinished business, bro. You see what it is in the background. We got unfinished business, bro. Yeah, we beat y'all. You beat us. We're gonna run that Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Christopher, bro, got a lazy lip. Well, actually, I got into an accident and my whole tooth almost went through my lip. So, thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate it though. No shame of it, but okay, that's what it's from. It is a lazy lip. But I can still back your girl though. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. How come you do it these lives alone now? What up with your bros? Well, shout out to the bros. It's just it is what it is, you know. But nothing but love to eat to both, you know. Ain't nothing but love. Ain't nothing but love. Shout out to Santana and Jokey Entertainment. Those still my bros. So you know, just touching the people, man. Pause. You know what I'm saying? What does background have to do with anything? Oh, he was a Eagles fan. He was an Eagles fan. If you didn't catch it, so because he was an Eagle fan, if you look at my background, there's a Chiefs hat. So the Eagles just beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year, but my Chiefs beat the Eagles the year before that. It's another issue. Make life for yourself before you make another. Facts. Ain't even gonna make the playoffs. Who ain't gonna make the playoffs? Chiefs or the Eagles? KC going to. Right, I can't take you serious. Like it's one thing. I know sports people say things out of their feeling, but you can't be serious, bro. Come on, bro. Like I could respect if you were like, oh, it's gonna be tougher for y'all this year. We're not making the playoffs. That lets me know you're a casual fan, and I can't talk sports with you, bro. You can't say stuff like that. Can't say stuff like that if you want to talk sports. Go Birds. Nah, ain't no go Birds. Go home Birds. That's what that mean. You know what I'm saying? That's what that mean. They think they pop it because they got Saquon Barkley running and jumping backwards. You know what I'm saying? No filter attached. They ain't. Yeah, come on, bro. You don't believe that. You'll see. Nah, I don't have to see nothing, bro. I'm not even taking you serious. Let's go Giants and Dart. Well, I will be honest. Dart has looked good. He's looked good, and he's who what the Giants needed. The Giants is not ready for a Shador Sanders. They don't have Brothas as their quarterbacks. Jackson Dart looked like the prototypical Giants quarterback, and he's and not just from an aesthetic standpoint, but he's playing well. He's playing well. So y'all found y'all quarterback. And actually, the Giants looks good. Giants look good. Giants look like they could make the playoffs this year. They really do. Their defense looks solid. Russell looks like he's what y'all need at quarterback right now. Absolutely. But y'all got a gauntlet. Y'all got a gauntlet. I think this is the worst we're ever going to see the Cowboys. I think the Commanders is going to be scary hours. I think the Commanders are going to be scary hours out there for everybody in that division, and the Eagles is the class of the division. So, but I don't think the Eagles have the same year as they did last year, though. KC, I'm not taking you serious with the KC comment. Ain't nobody like the Giants, cause listen, the Giants organization is trash, bro. They're trash. It's a trash bag organization. Trash organization. It is. But when y'all feel like it, winning matters when y'all feel like it. I do say that. But you have to fit a mold to work for the Giants front office, if you get what I'm saying. That's a fact. So that's why I call Giants a trash ass organization, because they don't hire the most, ready person for the positions. And I'm not talking about just players, I'm talking about front office. Ain't nobody. But he said there's something about the Giants. Ain't nobody like the Giants, cuz. Oh, I got that one. Why do you support? Okay. It's all about Cleveland Browns. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. It ain't all about Cleveland. It's about Shador. We're only rocking with Cleveland a little bit because of Shador. If Cleveland said, yo, we trading Shador to the Saints tomorrow, Cleveland ain't getting no more coverage, bro. We know that. And y'all got a good team. Y'all got good players. Y'all got really good players, but the coverage is there because of Shador, bro. Giants have the hardest schedule. Yeah, well, they got a good team. They got a good team. I will say that. They did put together a good team this year. I will say that. Especially if a lot of those key players could stay healthy for the Giants. On their defense, especially if their running back room could stay healthy on the offensive side. You think I'm scared of you. Shout out to you, bro. Hit them likes, hit them 100s while you're here, bro. It's weird. My Russell is going to destroy the Giants and Saints. Yeah, nobody worry about no Saints, bro. The Saints is another, just dumbass organization. They just, them fans is mad at them. Have you seen the quarterback play for the Saints? God awful. God awful. You know who has some really good quarterback play, who I enjoyed as far as their quarterback room? I like what the Raiders got. They got some guys that could really go. They got depth at that position. The Giants, I like how Jameis Winston looked with the Giants, even though he will be either second or the third quarterback. But I love the way Jameis Winston looked with the Giants. I will say that. He looks like a Giant quarterback. He looks he looks like he will play his best football with the New York Giants if given a chance. So I like their quarterback room. There's a few quarterback rooms I was impressed with. I will say that. I will say that. The Chiefs, our quarterback room, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Got Minshew as our backup, But he ain't going to play, God willing he doesn't play, because that means Pat is gone. So we can't have that. Shout out to Heyman in the building. Appreciate you tapping in with that negativity, trying to be a stain. Play NFL, pay their viewers, so forth. On 4. Bro. Okay. I 4. Chat for you right now. I don't care. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, so this football season is going to be fun. I actually think this is going to be a great football season. Whether both college football is going to be this. It's going to be better than last year's college football season. The season in itself is going to be crazy this year because all the stars left. So now it's going to be new stars. So anytime you got new stars, college football is at its like pinnacle when it has new stars. So this year, college football is going to be fire. NFL is going to be fire, though. NFL is going to be popping this year. A lot of storylines, a lot of intrigue. So, yeah. All right, y'all. Yo, I really appreciate y'all tapping in. Again, I'm on every Thursday, every Sunday, every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. I appreciate it. As always, I'm Ashley Lovechild, and it's the Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. And again, I appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them likes, hit them 100s to help with the growth of the show. I have over 450 rewatchable videos of this podcast due to videos, shorts on this podcast. So again, make sure y'all tap in. Great for conversational starters with your friends, families, loved ones, and people that you work with. So again, I appreciate it. There's also memberships available. Different memberships do get granted different access. So again, I appreciate it. And to show further love, you can tap in on my Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. I will see y'all again this Thursday at 10:30. And y'all already know, man, it's love. And I'll see y'all soon. I'm out.